I wonder if we have any.
We are live. Holy shit! Look at that.
Are we going to have more than 5 people watch us tonight? I think everybody who watches is actually at this con.
Yes, we're gonna have a larger live audience than in the actual venue than we probably will watching online. Folks, if you haven't seen us before, which I'm pretty sure you have if you're watching this, I'm Eric Tenkar. This is Bad Mike Battleauto, and we are at North Texas RPG Con.
And we just had a living legend walk in front of us. This is the kind of con we're at now.
Well, but if he's in front of us, which means he's...
Seb, come just step right here. We just want to prove to people that we know famous people.
Right.
There you go.
No,
Real.
yes, we know famous people. That is not photoshopped. We know him.
Actually, would you believe it? Could you believe it? So, yes, this is going to be a little bit of a wacky show, I am sure, because... well, you know, for us, at least for me, it's just this is one hell of a refresh from 2020.
Seb, you don't have to do that. That's degrading yourself. You're a living legend, man.
Or degrading us. I'm not sure which one, but it's okay.
It's actually awesome.
Oh God! I'm gonna take these glasses off until I need them to read comments.
Well, we just wrap it up. We had Zeb Cook on the show, so thanks everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great show. I'm gonna drink some more. And we'll be okay. Everything will be okay.
Yes. I'm actually drinking my my Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar, and
it's pretty good. I've got some. I've never had it before. It's pretty good.
And without having the virtual screen, look at that. It actually. So I can actually show things.
So this is the first show we've ever done live together.
Yes,
we've done live and we've been on the screen together. We've never actually been in the same spot together.
Right. Which is
crazy. Think about it.
Yes.
But this is actually the first time I've seen Eric since Game Hole Con 2019.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and that's huge. Listen, I met a couple of people that were like, hey, the last time I saw you was at TotalCon in 2020. And then after that, you know, the world went to shit.
And Eric's body went to shit. Everything went to shit. Yeah, it was not pleasant.
We should have
I think I have moobs here. What's going on with this shirt? Jeez Louise. James Sponsor right now is getting all turned on looking at me. So.
Yes. Yes. Oh, James, if you are watching this now, we're pretty sure you will. I've been hugging everybody that you've asked me to hug. It's certainly not been a very manly.
Not Jason Braun though. Which, by the way, we have another living legend over here to my right. James Braun's very, very nicely watching us quietly, nodding, smiling, applauding when we give him the signal. There.
So yes, this is going. If you think the regular talking crits are a bit off the cuff,
oh boy,
zero
show prep. When we usually have like 3 minutes, show prep, 5 minutes. This is like 0.
Oh, we sat down for dinner earlier tonight, and we didn't do any show prep outside. You need to get that check because I need to go up and schedule this. So that was our show prep, folks. Just to put this in perspective, for me, this is one of those holy shit amazing moments in my life, because after last year, I was not sure if I'd be doing any of this stuff, let alone have the opportunity to go to a convention. But I even had a little bit of a, not quite a panic attack, but I was nervous before flying out. Not just because you have to like fly with masks, even if you're immunized. And of course, we had our wonderful Karen incident.
But she was classy.
She was
She had an accent, so
she had an
Karen with an accent.
She had a very proper British accent, telling the person next to her that you're wearing your mask improperly, and you must wear your mask properly. And he told her to sit the.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, he didn't curse her. He goes,
He
just
basically
just
turn around and sit down.
Just sit down. And She's like, stewardess, this gentleman was not wearing his mask properly above his
It sounds
nose.
Irish. It's really weird.
Sorry. And then he told me,
It always goes that
he
way.
goes, and then he told me to sit down. I was like,
Oh, dear.
my God. If I wasn't hearing this with my own ears, I wouldn't have believed that. Because I'll be honest with you. You think I live in New York City, I would have heard more Karen incidents. And I had not personally witnessed a Karen incident.
No.
And now,
Neither.
so for those of you who hear the ghost voice, that's my wife, Rach, sitting off to the side.
How you doing?
There's, Mike and I take up so much screen presence,
Yeah.
we can only fit two
It's
faces.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Two faces on the screen.
We don't like to share anyway. So.
But
Well,
That's
take
going
our
back
shows.
to
It
my
shows that
roots.
right now we have one viewer.
I've always been the ghost voice.
no. We got 5.
One. Oh, 5. I was on.
Nice.
We've got 5
One
viewers.
viewer. One.
Hi again. So those of you who don't
We
know,
have- Can we disclose
no, come
your
on,
name?
no.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This is Kendra. Hello.
She's the wife of our very own Rocky. So
Mr. Rock. Yes.
for those that don't know,
was
Rocky
great to see, by the way.
Rocky also
Awesome.
had one of those 2020s that I avoided COVID and still got to stare death in the face.
Yes.
So it was very great to see Rocky and give him the least manly hug I could give him, because
But it's okay, even though it got gooey.
yes, I went in for seconds and thirds, folks.
Don't tell him I said this, but he's a pretty amazing guy. So we're happy to still have him around.
Well, it's,
Oh,
now,
my
now
God.
it's on tape. Now it's on YouTube. Come
Yeah,
on.
he'll listen to it later.
Oh, sweet.
So I mean,
Right, I'm gonna leave you alone. I didn't realize we were.
no, this is the
We don't
reason
have
why
a very.
we're-
We're not very professional.
And
at all.
besides, it's the reason why we're out in the
We really
open,
don't
so
care.
people can walk by and chime in. But
Yes, Rock looked great too, which is awesome.
Yes.
Actually, Eric looks great. I hadn't seen him in person in a while.
well, thank you,
I don't look good. Not at all, folks.
folks.
Intervention time.
All right,
This
well,
guy right here.
yeah. Well, listen,
So these are the reasons why I want you to.
we
Oh,
want
wait,
you to be with
Is
us.
this an intervention? Is that why you're here, Jason? Oh my God. It's an intervention, isn't it? That's why Zen
Texas
came earlier. We chased him off. He cared about me so much.
North Texas RPG Con intervention. All right, we have a comment. I got to put my glasses on for the comment because I can't.
All right. We can't see anything. I can't even pull up on my damn.
Okay, and of course it's Jason Braun himself. So
I don't think that's how it's
You
supposed to
gotta
work.
mix it up.
That's not how anything works here. That's not how it's supposed to work. And that's the two sexiest men on YouTube. Well, YouTube, and I can't disagree with you.
I
Obviously.
figured let me put on my frog god shite for this one.
You gotta represent.
I got to represent.
This is my
Man.
cleavage.
Well,
Got some crispy
you know.
chest hairs. Right. There we go. Crispy as up.
All right. So just so you all know, too, we are sober. We all
Yeah,
had
I just started drinking.
right. We all
I
had
didn't-
had like Diet Pepsis with our dinner. So it's not like we have alcohol in it, but
Terrible.
it's a giddy environment because listen, 2020 was the year from fucking hell. All right, forgive my language. And Ian White doesn't like you touching yourself, apparently.
He probably is. He's in good company if he didn't like me touching myself. My wife is there too. Oh, ouch. Oh, my grandson. My grandson heard that. I hope he did.
TMI. He's probably not. I don't think your grandson's
Yeah,
listening
he's
again.
playing with his knife over there. So.
Well, as all 17, 18 year
This is
olds.
Texas. He got a switchblade. So I mean, yeah.
Oh no, that's not
Butterfly knife. He
Butterfly
got-
knife.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, look at him over there. See, he's boom, boom, boom.
I used to play with butterfly knives when I was that age.
Yeah, but you're in New York. You had to survive because you're the mean streets, man.
Yeah, but you couldn't you had to buy them in the back of like these.
Yeah. In
like-
New York, we keep them in our shop.
Right, like
Pull it out.
you'd have this general store that you would walk into that was always run by. This is not. It was
Uh-oh,
always
here
run
comes the
by
racist
somebody.
comment.
It was always
Great.
by the
You try to stay away
Chinese,
from these.
and in the back
Ooh.
they'd have the person that would be selling you nunchucks and
Oh,
butterfly
martial arts
knives
stuff. Yeah,
and
In our neighborhood or like
Jackson Heights.
Jackson Heights?
Jackson Heights, throwing stars. And it was always you had to go in the back and talk to the guy in the back, and it'd be like, so, God. Ian's felt, man. We're not.
Wow.
We're not felt.
So, like,
I'm felt.
This is great. We cleared out the room.
Well,
Except for
Ben.
Mr. Barsh.
Yeah,
and
Ben's.
my grandson playing with a knife, and Jason playing with himself. We're pretty much.
We're playing. We're
we
playing
cleared out
with
the
us.
room.
If you want one of these, you have to go in the back room.
Oh, well,
I told you should have asked. What's his name? Ingo.
Ingo, we could have had Ingo on the show.
oh God, no. We don't need loud Germans.
What?
We
You
have,
know, fun.
we have loud Wisconsin. We have loud New Yorkers. We don't need loud. We'll get people walk by. Don't worry. We've been building up to this because every week for the last 5 weeks we've had a guest from North Texas, and last week we had Steve Winter, which is by far our classiest guest. Sorry, Jason.
Yes.
And so that was amazing. Oh my God, he's crying. So here we are. We kept saying, okay, it's only 2 weeks away. It's only three. It's only 1 week away, and boom, here we are. And it's pretty great to be back after 2 years. I mean, we kind of had the con last year, but it was only about 70 people here. It was mostly locals. We didn't really do.
And one of those people that was here last year was none other than our very own Chris Stodger,
who played in my B1 game. Not my B1 game, my Highfeld game last year.
So Chris is going to be sponsoring
Shared terrible booze with us.
our good booze testing.
Yes.
Later on, one of the nights this week. We will live stream that because that'll be fun.
Yeah, we don't even know when that is yet. We're just like, we have no clue.
Oh, you got to live stream it, man.
Although Matt Roberts said he wants it sooner rather than later. Matt Roberts.
I'm not one to interrupt, even though I am.
No, you're not interrupting. This is
No, this is what it's
this is the
about.
point.
It's about showing.
Step around.
So people
I
can
was gonna see if you wanted to, just some loose art from, I believe, that gentleman.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I bought a whole stack of it. That was.
I already looked through this art and
That was all
and
used
pinched the
in
piece.
the
Good stuff.
Wikipedia Beast for Kinsey.
Oh, that's it. I was wondering where I saw this before.
And believe me, it's been picked through by a lot of people. There's still some decent ones.
Yeah,
in
there's
there,
some really great stuff. Is this freebies or is this just?
If you can make a buck for the con, make a buck for the con.
Well, we've been auctioning. Let's put it this way.
You do you.
We're auctioning Jason Braun artwork. So.
Oh! I thought we were going to say we're auctioning Jason Braun. We're taking bids for
I
Jason.
should show you the.
Full weeds.
You'll love when you see the pics of.
It's okay.
Ouch.
But my sciatica is killing me today. Actually, it's not bad for the flight.
Full weeds is code for sit around and drink.
I think it's code for smoking dope. I don't know.
We don't
condone drug.
we don't
use.
condone drug use, especially not
either drinking
or
any other-
unfortunately not in the state of Texas because now if
still have
it
black
was
Yeah,
in
they
the
don't have anything legal.
We
here
still
with
kill you for
They
that.
don't even have,
No, you could
like,
drive around in your car with
medical-
booze in Texas. So. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the weird part is that he doesn't sign it.
you can
And
probably
That
use
is
like
weird.
Texas
credited
bath
in the
salts are
books,
probably legal
but
in
the individual
a
art
state, but
pieces aren't.
I've always thought.
Mark.
I've always kind of liked his stuff too. That's really
Yeah.
weird that it's just kind of. Golly, he doesn't really value his art. He just gives it to
Wild
randos.
Die, thank you so much for your kind thoughts.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that makes sense.
Again, this is actually an emotional experience for me
Nice
to
piece.
be here, because it means that there's some normality
I remember some of these
to my
I had-
life, especially after last year, because last
Sure.
year
Okay. Well, thank you. So much.
despite the world of COVID, last year was shit for me.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So-
and trade it. Tell my brother, my grandson, you're trading it. I wish. he was
Eric
my
Webb,
brother.
yes,
That means
it's
I'd be
nice
younger.
and cool in Texas. It's actually
It's
cooler in
beautiful
Texas
here.
than it is in New York City. And
This is actually one of the nicest weeks we've had for North Texas. We've had 100-degree temperatures.
Oh,
We've had
yeah.
monsoons.
Believe me, New York's a lot cooler now that you're here.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
super.
somebody else is stepping in
Oh.
into our frame
come on, sweetheart.
Come on,
back here.
come on.
Come back here.
to
Back
prove that we have
In
a
there.
Yeah.
Skeeter
Oh, what's
Green
wrong
here.
with
Has a-
What are you gonna do to me?
Look at that! Look at isn't he lovely? I've been
Yeah.
touched.
Oh, it's
There's
so
a
weird.
there's a video record
I'm-
now of this.
I'm backwards because, like, if I want to
Yeah.
grab this guy, it's the wrong
Yeah.
hand. So then I got
Here,
to grab this guy.
grab my left shoulder because that's the one of the stenosis in it.
Oh, yeah, there you
There
go.
you go.
Oh, God! Yeah, some people pay to watch this. Yeah, come on in.
Whoa! This is
Come on.
YouTube. This is YouTube. They have
You're
standards.
allowed, bitch.
Don't run away.
So
you set up in that room like long term or
What the hell?
It's a 2-hour game.
Okay.
Okay,
No
we're
worries.
doing like a show here.
This is awesome, though.
I
This
gotta
is,
set up.
listen,
Yeah, look at
Silly.
all the cameos we've had.
Son
so
of
far.
we've had
Yeah. There's cameos and there's cameos. This is a minor cameo. This is not.
I just want to make sure you set up for the whole weekend. Yeah, but I won't.
Oh, come on, Dennis. You're always.
Oh, put your voice in.
Hey, what about your
So now,
box?
technically, theoretically,
Yes.
the con isn't even
Yes.
started yet. This is the Wednesday night. This is the pre-con. Get it on, and this shows you how many people are here.
Yes.
This is
You know,
Dennis.
I don't-
PD forever.
Yes. You know,
Oh my God,
I
the
love.
fact that you are absolutely stunned. Yes, thank you. I'm stunned.
It was a
Mike
little
Bottolato.
box. It was like this big.
Oh my God, look at the head. The head.
It was a tiny little box.
Yeah.
But no, you really don't have it. You're not joking with me. You don't have it.
You didn't give it to me.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit! Is
I have
this
no-
a conversation we're having?
I have no clue where it's at.
Speaking of off the cuff,
I can
Yeah.
probably find it.
Yes. What's off your cuff, Ray?
So I was supposed to. Skinner was supposed to mail me some miniatures. Well, he did mail them to me, and those for his game tonight. And apparently, I've misplaced them because they weren't with all the boxes he got. So they're in a box somewhere. I'm not sure where. And
So
I
this
could-
is
I could go look for them, but that would be the show would be.
well. This is the real behind the con. Behind the con, literally, and behind us, what it's happening.
Yeah,
So
I feel bad. I better go look for those miniature Skinner. Bill, you're in.
I think it was a ploy to sell it.
No, I gotta go find. Them. I think I know where they might.
This podcast just took a major step down.
So, folks, for those of you who don't know who just sat down with me, none other than Mr. Pacesetter himself.
how could you not know?
How could you not know the father of the best hair in the OSR?
Yeah, I'm yes. The better half of the company is
He's not the hair.
he's actually doing
Yeah.
homework.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, "Oh, this is Bill Barsh. Ben Barsh told us before we started this. I'm like, hey Ben, good, you're sitting at the table. You know, we're gonna be doing the live stream at 8:00. Oh, good, 8:00. I gotta do homework.
He legitimately is doing homework though.
Okay.
He legitimately is doing it. Now, how hard he's working on it and all that, I have no idea.
Well,
That I couldn't
it's
tell you.
got to be at least as hard as we're working on this.
Oh, it could be. It could be. He might be in trouble.
Now, is this your first convention since?
This
COVID?
is my last convention pre-COVID was NTX, and now my first convention back post NTX or post COVID is NTX. So yes, I have not been to a convention since NTX, and we wouldn't miss it for the world. I've been to every one. Knock on some wood somewhere. All this fake wood. So
Yeah,
I
there's no wood here.
yeah, I tell everyone if you can only go to one, this is the convention to come to, especially if you're an OSR fan, obviously.
Yeah,
Just
the atmosphere here is
How can you beat this?
amazing. You can't. And I mean, honestly, here you are. We're at North Texas. This is the night before the con actually kicks off.
Correct.
And Rich and I have come down to the con on Wednesdays, basically because we don't like to rush and get here the day of the con. And Wednesdays is always the relaxed day. And not saying today wasn't relaxed, but today, you know, we hung out with Chris Doggill. We had dinner with Bad Mike. We're doing the live stream. It is just an amazing amount of people that we are seeing already. And again, technically, the convention hasn't even kicked off yet.
right, and that's been the pattern with NTX, I think, since the second or third, that all of a sudden Wednesdays kind of became this thing where, you know, other conventions have a social hour. Well, NTX has a social day,
Yeah.
which is Wednesday. So everyone kind of starts rolling in into the Alan Grohe just walked in the room.
Hey, Alan.
You know, where everyone starts flying in and driving in, and it just becomes this this naturally growing event.
We're good.
Good.
We're doing the weekly live stream with no. The reason why we're doing it here is so people at the convention that are here can come in and be seen. You know, this is what the convention's about.
So
you know?
we're just talking how Wednesday is the day. You know, everyone just kind of rolls in, and it's become this this natural extension of the convention where it's just a massive social hour that lasts all day, and now there's events. I mean, typically I shouldn't even be sitting here because I run the first round of the tournament on Wednesday nights, but this year I decided not to do it. I'm doing it all on Thursday and Friday, but but and that's how it's grown. I mean, it's usually 10, 12, 15 events now on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it's technically the convention doesn't even start, like you said, but it's going. So it's fantastic. And you just meet up, if you want to spend time with special guests, Wednesday's a great time because they're all rolling in off the plane and there's nothing really to do. So everyone's just sitting around. I mean, I've already sat down and talked to Darlene. Merle is here. Just
yes, we saw Merle when we were eating.
Dennis Astaire was just here. Just talked to him in the hallway. I mean, you can name drop from here till the cows come home with the people that start rolling in right now. Chris Clark is in. Alan Growe is in.
No, Alan, this is why we're here.
Back and say, hey, it's a big scene.
Jason Braun, who's hiding off camera right here.
but abusing us in the chat.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome.
Epi, yes, we look forward to seeing you next year. I was going to wear my very loud D20 shirt, and I did not bring it with me. I actually wore and brought more subdued golf-like shirt because
I'm bringing I'm slumming with my Gen Con shirt today. After today, because it's not officially NTX, it'll be NTX gear the rest of the show, except for one. I got a really old throwback Gen Con T-shirt that I'm going to wear just for Bill Meinhardt.
Just for Bill?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't have this one.
Wait a second.
I know. I own like 2 or 3 things that Bill doesn't have. That's it.
He'll try to buy the
Really?
That's it.
back.
Yeah.
Really? Because
That's my claim to fame.
Yeah, because when I sat down with Bill a couple of years ago and he gave me the catalog of.
Oh, he carries around.
Yeah,
It's like a 4-inch thick binder.
Yes, and I was going through it. Yeah. And I was looking at his very.
Laminated, no less.
Yes.
Yes.
And I was going through it and I was like, all right. And I'm looking at his Tunnels and Trolls stuff because I collect Tunnels and Trolls stuff because it's something that's at least a limited thing that you can collect. And there are some oddities that you can find. And it's not priced at the old classic TSR early stuff is.
It's a great subject for a collection because there's a lot more produced for Tunnels and Trolls than most people would know.
Right.
There's some scare stuff which makes it fun. And
there's some UK
I know you have something
variations.
very special in your collection that most people are not going to have.
Right. And that's when I was like, I don't see this. And I was like, and I guess I did my look through his book was not as dense as it should have been. So I went, thinking I had something, Bill, I actually have Ken San Andre's 2nd edition play copy of Tunnels and Trolls signed by Ken. He goes, he no longer he hasn't had his first print copy for years. And of course, fucking Bill, well, that's because I own his first print copy signed by him. Whoa. So there you go. That's and then I was like, all right, well, you know what? I have something obscure. There's no way. Small press, Queens College, early mid 80s, Gateway magazine, which was initially the first only one issue was professionally published. The first 5 were all done in like a school mimeograph machine and stapled. And I mentioned that I had a complete collection because I inherited the gaming club as a president and found it in the drawer. I went, I'm taking this shit. And Bill's like, oh, yeah, I have that full collection in mint.
Yeah.
I was like, how the
it doesn't matter. The minute you try to one-up Bill Webb, you're screwed. So, or not Bill Webb, I'm sorry. Or even Bill Webb, his collection's insane also. But Bill Meinhardt, no, there's no way.
No.
I was all excited. I think one year here I brought a copy of. I think it's the 2nd round of the Slavers tournament from Gen Con. I actually have a physical copy of it. And then, of course, Bill has to pull out. He actually brought it that week. Like, he has ESP. He's got the whole thing. Plus, he's got some, like, pre-pub from even that. With hand-drawn rooms with, like, if they throw a fireball, this is what happens. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
At some point, he's going to have the official gaming museum, and I look forward to seeing it. Right now, I think it's an unofficial gaming museum. Did we find the minis?
We did not, and so Skeeter's what I would like to call SOL because I don't know where they're at. I looked up where they could be.
Give him a shit ton of 6-sided dice and say, "Have at it with these."
All right, you're out.
That's my out already. Fired.
Already?
He was getting. I noticed he was getting a little too comfortable there, and he was telling personal anecdotes. That gets me worried because believe me, Tenkar's the talent here. He could get rid of me. In a second.
I am by far not the talent.
I thought he might have been auditioning.
I am just the pretty face.
I think he was auditioning.
he
all
could
right.
be.
Sorry.
Go say hi to people.
So Skeeter, sorry if you see this later. Don't kill me.
And if you do, don't do it around any witnesses.
I have no clue where that box is. It's a tiny box. So it's like this big. And we're running this big convention, and we got this little box. So anyway, so what were you guys talking about? What was that?
Well, we were talking about the convention, how this convention is just an amazing experience that, and how the PreCon Get It On has become
Yes.
literally day 5 of the convention.
Because we don't, when Doug and I created the con, we did not really want to have board games because we thought, well, there's not a lot of just pure role-playing conventions anymore. And so we said that everybody has to run role-playing games because people, I want to run Battletech or I want to run Warhammer. They're like, no, this is going to be RPGs only. And so we've stayed with that, but we thought it'd be kind of cool if people, because a lot of people wanted to play board games, especially some of the older guys like Jim Ward, people like that. So Wednesday is the game you can play a board game. You bring a board game. You can play anything. You can do anything you want on Wednesdays, and it's wide open. You don't even have to have a ticket to show up. You just show up and hang out. And so that's where the PreCon Get It On was born, just as an extra kind of day. And Doug has actually told me Doug would have the con all week if he could. He would have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, he would have it every day.
Right.
He loves
He
the
would
con.
stand out like a sore thumb because who has a con at the beginning?
He would love it. He would love to do that. So our compromise is the Wednesday night PreCon Get It On, or at least we have the con on Wednesday night too. So
Right. So when people are here setting up for Thursday morning, they get here Wednesday. There are people that are gaming, and there was gaming going on even before it went from being semi-official to unofficial. People were showing up the day before, and there were pickup games, just like there'll be games Sunday night after the con is officially done. No, yes, Mike,
and your gift was in there too.
yes, Mike liquored his drink up.
Yeah.
Proper. Gotta have a proper
I
drink.
need it because I feel so bad about screwing Skeeter over that I couldn't say that straight face. No, I feel bad about screwing Skeeter over. And look, I got mailed like 15 boxes, so I misplaced one of those 15.
It just didn't happen to be Skeeters.
It happened. It happened to be
And it
Skeeters.
has nothing to do with the
Well,
fact
14 of those
that,
15 were Skeeters boxes.
oh, all right. Well, because has nothing to do with Skeeter violating.
No, this is
years
not
ago?
revenge for that. No.
But if it
I
was,
would never do anything. But if
no.
it was, it's pretty great because now he's got to run his game without the minis he wanted. So that's pretty hilarious. In front of his kids too. So his kids like lose all respect for the old man.
Oh, his
So-
children are here.
Yeah.
Here's the media they had it.
Chris with the home run.
No,
I started with softball. Rather. What is this little thing right here I'm looking at?
Oh, yes.
You have
So,
not introduced our special guest here. We have
Special
no
guest?
special guest,
you got plenty of special guests.
but this is a
But
special guest.
This is myth and magic. Now, for those of you who don't know the saga behind myth and magic, oh wait,
Is
this
it dedicated to
it's
Eric?
a signed copy. So I guess it's a signed. I think you can see the signature there. So that
Oh
would
my
be
God.
Tom Ryan. So here's the deal. This is a 2E clone of sorts, and it's highly respected. When this was being kickstarted and there was a preview of the rules available, people spoke very highly of this game. And they spoke highly of this game even as its official shipping release, the PDFs went out, but physical copies were lagging. So, those of you that have been following me when I was just blogging before I did the podcast, before I did the vidcast, I've always been what's the word I'm looking for when it comes to Kickstarters?
Skeptical, over something, over financing. I don't know.
Like an overseer. Listen,
Yeah.
if you take, I'm still a huge backer. I back way too many Kickstarters, but you have to remember that my background. I was a police officer. I was a sergeant. As a sergeant, I spent a good portion of my last part of my career supervising detectives in internal affairs. So basically looking over the misdeeds of our fellow cops. So people that abuse Kickstarter are people that are abusing my fellow gamers, and I kind of fell into that. So what Tom did is, and he would show pictures of these boxes upon boxes of Myth and Magic in his living room, but nothing was shipping. Why was nothing shipping? Because Tom wasn't able to budget properly, and since he was slow in getting the Kickstarter out, excuse me, Dr. Pepper has gas. He was slow in getting the Kickstarter out on time. By the time he finally had the books in hand, shipping costs had greatly increased. Thereby, he didn't have money in his budget to ship. So I was constantly, fairly frequently, updating about the Myth and Magic Kickstarter. Now, this is, by the way, this is the. Hold on a second. I'll get back in a second, Rich. This is the player's guide. There was also a GM's book. The GM's book, I don't think it was ever printed. So,
Who is the person who did this?
Tom Ryan. Tom Ryan is.
His name isn't on the.
It's on the inside.
Oh,
Well, Tom's a lawyer. Tom is a lawyer. He
Great.
is, I think, he is a tax.
You gave mom his full name and.
No, he's a tax attorney. That's his real job. He mentioned it. So,
oh, is this the one that
this is the one, Rachel. Yes, Rachel. This is the one.
put your address on?
Yes, this is the one that.
Oh, okay.
This is the individual that put my shipping information as a comment on Kickstarter and said, "Hey, Tenkar, here you go. It's coming to you. It's coming right for
And
you."
here's your home address, by the way.
Yeah. So,
Here's a few stalkers while we're at it.
so I give Kickstarter a lot of credit. I reached out to them on a weekend. It was a Saturday, and within hours they had taken the comment down. And I guess they gave him a little bit of a slap.
Oh, so Kitty can't find you now.
Kenny can't find himself, but that's besides the point.
Wow.
All right. But here's the thing with this one. So I get my copy of Myth and Magic in the mail, and this was, the bile that was in my direction. How about that? Well, I went out, and I think it was the winter time. I opened this up, the package, with a knife in my backyard, wearing gloves, because I was afraid of one of two things. Could be anthrax, or could just be bodily fluids. Either way, I wasn't going to.
Glitter bomb.
Glitter bomb. So, today I'm in an elevator coming down to set this up, and somebody's like, "Oh, look, the person I was hoping to see." I'm like, "Really? Oh, okay. I have something for you." And they take this out, and it's like, he goes, "Yeah."
Choir of angels saying,
Yeah. So, and here you go. I got a signed copy of Myth and Magic. Now, an interesting side note to this is that Doug Rea, the main man behind North Texas RPG Con, who can't join us this year. So, Doug, if you're watching this at any point, we miss you.
I'm on this.
Doug, I think backed the Kickstarter for how many copies?
Oh, he got no. Not only did he back for a lot of copies, he got one of the higher levels of it that you got to include, like your own character class. I mean, or your own character. Something in there. He got like some kind of special thing. It was one of the highest levels of that. I think you got like a artwork. You got like artwork. Or I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the higher levels. Oh, Chris has got his thing out there. He's looking at it for us.
Oh, okay.
And and we got totally screwed on that. Although we did get into.
You got like two copies.
No, we got like 5 copies.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. But
okay.
But we didn't get any of the extra. I think you could name a spell after somebody. You could name one of the spells in the book, something like that. Kind of like, Nistel's Magic R or whatever.
Oh, let's not even talk Mike and I.
But you could name a spell, and so I think he did that, but I don't think anything ever came of that. So he got screwed on that.
So James Bond just left us a message. Oh, Lordy. Much love, Eric, Zach, Matt, Skeeter, and even you, Bad Mike.
Wow.
Kick Hobbs in the nuts if you see him.
That's what I cares. You could care a little. Yeah, I saw what you posted. I missed Bill Barsh.
James, just I gave Zach and Skeeter hugs for you. I gave Mike a hug too, but
you're just testing.
If it would, it could break the internet if we actually did more than like a little elbow nudge, but hey, touchy, feely.
I'm saving that for Mike Stewart later. Yeah.
Oh God,
Come here, Mike.
Lordy. What's Bob? What's wrong with Nysel? All right. And
Is there anything wrong?
Is there anything right with the Wandering Wizard? So remember, the
He's still wandering.
The Wandering Wizard was nice enough to. The Wandering Wizard is one of the reasons why you cannot run concurrent Kickstarters anymore. When I say
It should be
concurrent,
called the Nice Store rule.
right. When I say concurrent, I don't mean back to back where you haven't fulfilled the prior one. He had multiple ones running at the same time, and he never fulfilled any of them. And when he couldn't do any more Kickstarters, this is the important part, I think, that a lot of people don't remember, is that Mike was on Indiegogo with he was kicking Nysel's Castle, where you could invest in his business, and his business was basically paying him not to produce. Don't hug Mike. He's got Bay Arthur.
B. Arthur Cooties.
Oh Jesus!
What's better? There's nothing better than B. Arthur Cooties, because when you get B. Arthur, you know what you get? You get a great song and a great scene out of a great movie. And James knows that too.
OSR
James
only
favorite
Arthur's good enough for Wade Wilson. He's good enough. She's good enough.
Well, she's
true.
She's good enough for the Christmas special or the holiday special, Star Wars. She was singing those Ewoks in the bar.
I don't think we're gonna do an OSR only fans. I can't see that happening. No.
Wow.
OSR only fans, where you pay them
shutting down.
not.
Congress would meet that week to shut us down.
Where you pay them not to post provocative photos.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
James.
that might work.
But James, who's the one that flashed me man boob from behind Frank Metz. And remember, who's the witness? Merle. Merle was the witness. Merle saw it. He saw it coming, and all he did was that polite Merle smile of "This is awesome."
But he's never been
gonna-
right. He's never been right after that. Poor Merle.
Well, I don't know if Merle was ever totally right, but
We saw. By the way, we saw Merle tonight.
Yes.
That's the kind of kick-assness that we hang around here at the con. We saw Merle Rasmussen. While we were eating dinner, he just walked up and said, "That's the cool thing. Like, we get walked up now with people, And not all of them flushes their junk like Jason did tonight. They actually, come up to us and they are very nice. Like, oh, it's great to see you guys. When can I be back on your show again? Because your show made me. That's kind of like Jason.
Well,
the phone call from Jason after.
I don't know if I go that far, but okay.
I did get a lot of free publicity out of that cheap vodka that I let for her. Son of a bitch just drank.
So somebody had to.
Nasty. I didn't like it for you. I mean,
Semantics.
Right.
Hey,
Hey,
so your hand gets to appear on the live stream.
yeah, we're
Yes.
we're live.
So if you want to
Chill
come
in.
out, walk around. The reason why we're doing this in public is so. Well, Skeeter also tried to
Weird.
touch us.
Skeeter's weird.
Is Skeeter running a game right now?
Yeah, he is. Because that's the
So please.
that's the
disrupt
game I
him.
lost the minis to.
That's what we.
I actually need to talk to Mike because I need to set up my booth.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
it's probably right
As in,
here.
you actually need to do some work.
No, Hey, this is kind of.
Zach told me to talk to you.
Oh, well,
This
he
is
was.
hard work right now.
Who's working the front desk? Anybody up there?
Yes, I'm not wearing it.
Gary said to see him there in half an hour.
Gary's right there. So, yeah, go talk to Gary.
So
Gary
this-
has the map.
this is-
I don't even have the
This
map.
is
I lost the map.
behind the con. If you want to know what happens the night
Most dangerous
before a
place to be.
convention, you are watching it live. It's like, oh, Bad Mike's the go-to person.
Yeah.
this is the night before a convention.
No.
That kind of thing. Yesterday was the night before.
Now,
Well, technically.
little trivia: behind the con is the second worst place to be, besides behind Jason Raw.
Or Skeeter. I don't know.
It's funny. It's just funny. Oh God! And you've been eating Mexican food all week, haven't you? Oh dear God! Yeah, being in the same room with Jason's scary.
Yes, James, Merle saw everything. And he saw it.
He's so obsessed with it.
And he just, I just sort of look at his face. He was laughing on the inside, but Merle's too polite to
Yeah.
laugh on the outside for an event
He's a
like
gentleman.
that. Merle is a gentleman, which is the exception to the rule when it comes to.
Yeah,
This
most
look
of,
here.
most of us guys on OSR are not gentlemen, so
No, but
we try to be.
right. We're not complete assholes. We're just minor ones.
So I guess we've talked about this before, but we're here at the con. What's on your schedule this week? What are you doing this week?
Well, James Shields has booked me, I believe, in his non-Star Wars game.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for that, I'd have nothing officially on my schedule. So I am a free agent now. Zach Glazer last night said to me, "Are you bringing your Oculus, which is my VR headset?" I'm like, I didn't plan to, because, well, if you bring it, we can exercise. So just so you understand the insanity, you go away on a convention or a vacation, and you bring a virtual reality headset so that you can exercise. So, yes, I brought my VR headset. So just to put that in perspective. No. We actually play racquetball. It's good for my stenosis and my left
Porn.
James, yes, Shields will be here tomorrow, I believe.
Oh no, he's here. He's
already here.
Yeah, James is here, man. He's wandering around. James is awesome too.
Uh-oh.
He already drops off some free artwork. He's free artwork for the con. James is awesome. Awesome guy. What? Oh, Jason, did you drop off something too? I didn't know.
Oh, two.
Wow. You were going to drop off some artwork. Just never happened yet.
Steve. Yes. Come on.
What was that?
Join.
Join. I was just joking about the porn, Chris.
We're
Wow.
doing this here because
Holy
everybody
Bruce
should be
likes
part of
most
it.
pretty women.
This is the great part about being in North Texas.
So yes.
So on the other side of the
That is much
screen
more offensive.
that you folks
He
cannot
still
see.
shows it to Steve. Yeah.
Right. And
That's
the,
much more offensive.
That's my brother said that.
well, your brother still does that, but.
Yeah. Yes.
I was a lifeguard.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, that's different then. That's like.
Whatever you ever tell yourself.
I've role played as a rock.
So you can't see him, but you can probably hear him. It is none other than Steve Marsh.
Yes, another legend of the game.
And someone who made a donation, it turns out they can't resell. So,
Oh, to the con?
yeah,
Whoa! What did you donate that we can't resell?
4 bottles of that tequila.
Oh yes, he donated 4
Oh.
bottles of
Well,
tequila.
they don't have to get
which-
resold. I'm sure they can
Which
be.
unfortunately we cannot actually sell them. We can't actually auction off because it's actually alcohol. So
But could you give like IOU a bottle of?
I was thinking we just drink it, but yes, we could do that too.
Oh well, if that's the case,
And we can have a tasting contest at a certain point.
what? Yes, you did.
And I don't drink, but I have a good authority for people to do this very good. And my
Okay,
wife,
you know
a
what's-
bunch of them realized she couldn't drink it all.
You know what's going to happen here, right?
Yes.
I'm going to walk up and get that bottle.
Yeah, because you bought it, this smells like 2 to the con and 1 for Doug. And there's a bottle of whiskey.
This is the kind of special guest that we like in North Texas. If you're ever a special guest
I
here,
half-ass it.
what you might think
No, you
about
don't.
is doing something like that.
No, you've got a great.
And then some homemade jam.
Oh yeah, and so he goes above and beyond. And usually we get cakes and stuff baked too. We just didn't have time this year, so
Unfortunately, Rachel couldn't figure out a way to bring cakes from.
I talked to her. It's okay. We told her
Okay.
because she makes a mean cheesecake too. Some good stuff.
The key lime pies.
Yes, her key lime pies are incredible.
So
Absolutely
it looks like
incredible.
we'll probably just go to a bakery. Isn't quite the same thing.
No, certainly not.
It's a good con.
It's every year. This is a good con, and I feel blessed that I'm here.
Oh, look at our little helper over here. Chris, you're gonna get a gold star.
Your security is a joke.
It is.
No one even.
This is so. I guess we could do free advertisements online for Diosa.
Dallas means goddess.
Means goddess.
They didn't charge enough for it, so they went out of business because they made no profit.
Right.
Nice.
It was a porn star ran this company, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
it's no longer available.
Oh, maybe I should look this up on eBay.
So just so we
Like, I didn't know you were over here, and I saw him walking through. And I'm
Like, Chris stole a bottle.
Didn't he? I said,
No.
I just told him, security sucks, man. Don't even.
He could have still something more valuable than a bottle of
Well,
tequila.
I'm just saying, I was like, where's he? I was gonna go back for the register.
I don't drink, and so I don't know what it tastes like, but I know people who do, and they say it's really good.
All right, we're gonna find out.
Debauchery beginning before the con even officially starts.
It
That's
kind of started. Apple tequila. Now, how do we get this open over here? God, what a beautiful opening! Oh, it's got a seal. That is
Yeah.
really pretty. This really is pretty. I almost don't want to open it now. It's so pretty, but this could be my bottle. So this is my bottle. I'm opening it.
You want a knife?
Or
You got a knife?
Somebody with competent fingers.
Oh, I don't have Yes,
hey, my
please.
grandson's
Thank
his
you.
back all night. He'd love to do
Yeah,
it.
we can have this opening up with. Oh, you got it.
I got it. Yeah, he's
All right,
he's
so
been-
never mind.
Stand it back that way. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I know.
People can't.
No, I've had many many.
Oh, I like the smell. Okay, it's got a very much an apple. It's got apple, definitely apple.
Let me
Smell
see.
it. You can smell the apple.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Got a bunch of disposable shot glasses.
We're just gonna, you know, what we're gonna do. We're gonna go.
Because you know we know it's gonna.
I'm all set.
It's very sweet.
Okay.
It's got an interesting taste.
All right. So
It's not bad. It's just very sweet.
all right. So
Very
this
sweet.
so this is what we do
Wow, that's
for our viewers. When we say we keep it real, we keep it real. All right. No backwash.
no, gosh, no backwash by tequila. Of course, it's once you take a shot, not a slug. Very sweet, right?
Very sweet. It's a good thing I have my glucose monitor on me. I'm gonna have to check my glucose in a little bit. It actually it is very sweet. It actually you can feel the sweetness as it goes down. Now,
I was gonna say, don't. So you gonna Bogart that whole thing?
Yeah,
No, it's
it's interesting.
oh, you know, over ice, that would
yes,
be very
I would
very
love to try
nice.
this over ice. It's interesting. I wouldn't say it's not bad.
No,
It's not great either, though. It's not like, oh, that's just so good. But it's different because it's got that really sweet appley taste. Now, if you find a bottle, I would say give it a shot. Give it a shot,
get it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
and
Give it
then
a shot.
see how that works. Because I'm interested now. I'm like with you. I wonder what it tastes like chilled, chilled or over ice. I'm interested.
I think over ice because that it is very the sweet. You can feel the sweetness on your tongue. So that is a mixing tequila, not a straight tequila. That's according to Bob.
It being nothing fancy. There's one they don't make anymore, right? I had to buy every bottle the state Idaho had.
Someone get these men some ice. There you go.
It's distilled in the highlands of Jalisco, Mexico.
Oh, the reason why people don't have knives is that many of us fly
They have
in,
apples in Mexico.
and you can't fly with a knife in U.S. Airlines. So you can't even fly with maybe nail clippers now are approved. For a while, they weren't even approved. So yeah, the restrictions they're legit. But
Never had problems carrying my banner scissors.
now I'm not going to say that I didn't fly with a taser one time, or a
I
stun
still
gun.
have your taser. by the
Yeah,
way. It's in the car.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, and I'm not saying it did happen, but I will say I was in Wisconsin when I realized I had it in my luggage, and it looked like a shaver. Even to me, I was like, "Oh, I brought my shaver." No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Like, you know, someone that discovered they were carrying 9mm pistol rounds.
Oh.
They set off the
Ooh,
metal detector.
I can see that happening. And
I have been pulled aside at gunpoint for explosive swaps
well,
because we were traveling with military.
I was about to say, yeah.
Clothing.
Yeah.
We've got explosive.
Rachel's not going to keep me in line, James. She'll be out of line on her own.
You can. By the way, you can. So, just to let people know, you can still buy this online. The company is no good.
See if they have any in stock, though.
Oh, probably got. It says $39.99 a bottle. Yeah, you're right. Standard 1 week delivery. Only local shipping is available. You're right. They may not have any, or they could just have maybe they have a few bottles left on the shelf or in the back.
You know, maybe we'll have ice for this later on in the week. We're going to do another live stream later on in the week, courtesy of our very own frugal GM, Chris Duckle.
Yes.
So
And more vendors show up too.
yeah.
Yes. We could be sitting in. We're sitting in somebody's vendor spot right now.
So just folks that don't realize, Chris Stodgill is my regular Sunday co-poster over at Tenkar's Tavern, and has been now for over a year. Yeah, when I had my heart issues, he filled in, and then and then he
missed a day.
I missed the day.
Months ago.
Yeah, you know, shit happens. But some of the most popular posts at the tavern are from Chris. He had a great advice on your your go bag, your convention go bag.
Just for the emergency stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That was all about not like having the best con. It was just to knock the bottom off of having a crappy con.
I got you.
You know, I've been there. I've had friends go there. Oh, we need a common over-the-counter medicine, but everywhere is closed down, and we have to walk 2 miles to the nearest drugstore that happens to be open.
There you go.
It's not something you want to do on a Saturday of a con.
Right. So what did I pack in my bag? Obviously, besides the numerous medications that I have to take, and I took a full week's worth just in case. You know, we have an incident like a couple of years ago where storms come through Dallas and tornadoes hit and things get shut down
crazy,
for
yeah.
not just for that reason, but I also, you know, you never know. But I also packed Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, what is it, Neosporin, just the.
Benadryl is awesome.
Oh, I didn't.
Use it for so many things.
I didn't think of the Benadryl. That was, but the Tylenol.
Upset stomach, bug bite, sunburn. You need to get a sleepy, you can't sleep.
At least you didn't try to shave somewhere special and accidentally tase the boys. That is true. However, I did with a. Listen, the legality of these things is a little, depending on your state's a little fugazi. But when I got my first one, it looked like a flashlight, and I was showing it to my neighbor, and I was gripping it wrong when I turned it on.
Oh no!
And oh boy! Now that being said, I had already been tased in the line of duty. When you get promoted to sergeant, one of the things they did is they want you to know what it feels like to be tased, because theoretically you were being trained in a taser and would be using it in the field. Realistically, I never signed the taser out. Back when I was on patrol in the early aughts, it looked like a car vac, or I was not going to wear that on my belt. And so,
Back in the day when I was a cop, our guns were percussion. We had shot black powder.
we had to put the wad in and then shove it in. Occasionally, if you didn't have enough ammo, you shove the fork in there. Because, I had the blunderbuss Model 2, man, because that was the upgrade. It didn't blow up as much in your face. So, David Betzak, weed psychs carry only. Again, in Texas, guns are a thing. I'm in New York. I get to carry because I'm a retired law enforcement. But in Texas, your grandmother's probably carrying.
Everybody's packing. Yeah, it's true.
Bob, they'll go nowhere without Tums, Tylenol, and Imodium. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the Imodium part, especially in my case, I never know when my medications are going to hit me. It's like, oh, you had greasy food and the 8 pills you take in the morning. Guess what? You don't want that on a plane. Because snakes on a plane are one thing, shits on a plane is something completely different.
He did it. He went there. He did it.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, James, I tased myself. It wasn't on purpose, and it wasn't the family jewels.
Oh, James acts like he's never done that to himself. Give me a break.
Well, maybe.
You know, they say up to like 10% of the population isn't affected by taser, or isn't affected like expected.
Right. Well, here's
Do that.
right. Well, here's the thing. When you think of tasers, and in this case, I'm talking about a taser as a pain compliance device, not the type that shoots the prongs. Because when you shoot the prongs,
Oh, I've done the electronic one.
yeah.
Pain management.
Right. Yeah. Like the prongs are supposed to immobilize, but some people don't get immobilized. And it's just where it hits and all that stuff. But the pain compliance aspect, it's just like pepper spray, you can bully your way through it.
I've been pepper sprayed a few times.
I've only been pepper sprayed by my fellow officers, and that's the truth. Because they pepper spray in enclosed environments, and the perps never were affected, but it was always us. Oh my God.
This guy,
So,
I see an angel that flew in.
I see
Angel
an
likes to
angel. All right, so just like an inch. We have to let it melt down a little bit.
An inch. I need you over here to measure something.
Oh.
You know what? If he didn't say it, I was gonna. I didn't know Mike was.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I got one more here.
All right.
I don't know whose table we're like
So-
messing up here.
Well, they're gonna smell
Salute.
like apples. Salute. Oh, and see now it has a nice. We're not gonna do a.
Oh yeah. This is somebody said earlier, this is a mixing tequila, not a shot tequila. Absolutely true.
This is
Much better on ice. Much better.
Rach. Have a little apple tequila.
Yep. But much better.
Apple tequila. Have a little. So we're gonna get.
We're gonna get
How are you?
faced tonight
Good.
on the show.
So Rach, you got. Rach, step in, Rach.
I'll be on the show.
Can I be on the show, Ricky? I'm here.
Oh, you guys are live.
This smells
Yes.
really good.
Live?
Live.
But then it starts to smell like tequila.
Yeah, we're live. Mike's been watching it live.
Do you like this?
I just
It's
like
very
to,
sweet. It's very apple.
I just like to see my own jokes and laugh again at my jokes. 'Cause that's the kind of ego master I am.
No, I'm not running any games for the first con and many cons.
Really?
Yeah, I'm only in one
Is that
game.
what it is?
Really?
Yeah, I'm in
Yes.
James Shields' not really Star Wars, but Star Wars game. I believe that's Saturday morning.
That's really, really syrupy, sugary.
Yes. Well, that's
It's
why we.
extremely sweet.
That's why you need to. You can taste.
Extremely.
You can literally
That's
feel
why
the
that's
syrupiness.
why- yeah, you don't feel the warmth of the tequila so much.
So I'm saying about a 12-second delay.
Wow.
So, sorry, folks, I'm catching up on the comments here because
Yeah, James Spawn thinks the show's all about him. I notice.
James,
I'm just gonna keep
the
making,
Final
I'm
Frontier.
gonna
Yes,
keep
Mike.
making jokes.
It was for special fun reasons when he tased himself.
Oh.
Like an inch, I need you over there to measure something. They both say like that they've done this conversation
We've had that
before.
conversation before.
Bill, how are you? No, that's fine. We are doing it
yeah,
here
it's
so
just-
people can.
We're just
Become
live,
part of it.
live podcasting.
Step around.
You never know who might.
We have Bill Meinhardt on the other side, and we have
the hair.
the best hair. Yes,
Yeah, you
you're
know
allowed.
what?
Come on.
Yeah, come
Everybody's
on.
invited.
We need youth. We gotta hit get our special demographic.
So
Yeah.
just so we can get the youngins.
yeah. See,
I'm
see,
gonna
chicks.
bring the age demographic
dude.
down a lot right
Oh
now.
yeah. That's
Oh
gonna be
God,
awesome.
yeah, we
Come on,
are
ladies.
the age demographic.
Ladies, look the hair. See.
The hair is
Oh,
we might
our
actually-
demographics going up. Oh, wait, we dropped 5 watchers. Oh, because we skew old.
Yeah, we are pretty much a sausage factory. I have
Yeah.
to and that's why we do our at least on Saturday nights. I'm balanced by a very attractive woman as opposed to
Oh no!
oh Mike,
What are we doing?
Mike, you
I didn't drop anything that broke.
And you know, you guys.
It wasn't like it was an orange meat free or anything. Come on.
well it did happen.
I'm gonna recreate it.
We got 2 Barshes and
Vienna
I should just see this again.
Yes. So Rach wants
It's curious to me. I'm like,
I got a t-shirt.
Rach wants seconds on the tequila.
is there maple in this too?
Oh, that's a good. You know what? I think you hit something there. Let's see what it says here.
Tequila? Oh my god.
It's apple tequila.
My god.
Well, we don't have any other.
That's from 2018.
You gonna put it in your cup?
How many times have you worn that?
Hey,
No, I'm talking
all I
about.
wear.
Mike's wearing because we usually wear our. Me and Mike, we usually wear our
No,
like
no,
our
for
first
Chris.
year NTF t-shirts. And I'm like,
You gotta be-
He's got, no, it's not that bad. It's
I-
not that bad.
I'm offering your drink.
I don't wear a lot of other shirts, guys. This is it.
Well, he was sexual.
Pretty much my
Yeah,
life
you know.
right here.
You gotta justify your
It's pretty much.
your lifestyle. the rest of us.
You too, man. Sorry, my hands are sticky, but
Don't ask.
Don't ask.
no.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it's hard to believe it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying that same thing. Well, it's because now we do some stuff online. I was just thinking, well, I just saw this guy online a couple weeks ago. So like,
Folks, I'll be right
doesn't feel like
back.
I've missed everybody.
I gotta say hello to somebody.
Oh, oh wow! Well, look who made a surprise appearance here. Oh, medical. Mr. Richard LeBlanc made an appearance. Who's having a medical procedure tomorrow. Oh, all right, all right. Back in, Bill. You're back, in. Yeah, you're back. You're back, brother. You're back.
I'm cheap that way.
You're back.
I like this. It's very neutral. I would expect to smell more.
No, it honestly tastes very good on ice. Hey, Richard. Hey, Richard, I gave your box set to Dave. Yeah, but you can pick it up if you want to. Yeah, okay. Wow, good to see you here
Smells
for a little while at least. All right.
What do you think is in it? Do you taste like maybe a maple leaf?
It's like real syrupy. I like that maple syrup. I think the maple.
Or is there tamarind?
Wow.
I think
There's tamarind.
That does not scream tequila.
Oh, what is that?
Not
A lot of
all.
Mexican
It's
stuff
almost a
that's
little
tamarind.
smoky.
Yeah, I feel like the tequila is, but then there's like
I've got
some
a
really
bourbon
sweet
that I add a
mix that
bunch
balances
of
it.
stuff to.
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
It's got a lot of like I said, so it's mixing tequila.
This is like
it's
some-
not a shot tequila.
No,
This is
but
mixing.
this is like dangerous stuff.
In terms of your diabetes, for us diabetics, yeah. I'll have to get another shot when I get there.
This is very, very good.
Yeah.
You guys got a whole bunch of this up front, right? Or is that something else I saw
Steve
there?
Marsh donated it to the con. He thought we could sell at the con. Actually, you can't sell booze at an auction at the con. But one of these was for me, and one of these was for Doug. So I just opened mine to see what it's like.
Well, you are a gentleman and a scholar.
It's good stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
it's clear.
It's
But
different.
he opened his mouth, and someone just called him.
Don't know. Let me see if it says what. Let me see if it says what's in it.
It doesn't. I looked. No. You're supposed to just get the hints of it. You get the hints of maple.
Like maple or
Well,
tamarind.
definitely
you know,
something-
Like tamarind tastes sort of raisiny.
It's even sticky,
Yeah.
like syrup.
There's
Yeah.
definitely something
I
like
think
that
it's
in
a
there.
mix of the apples too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because you get. I mean, I could taste a little honey crisp in there and a little.
Honey.
He is
There's
much
definitely
more
honey in
refined than
there.
I am.
Well,
I just
wow.
taste.
family owns it
I would say this
afterwards.
tastes fruity, but yeah, this is delicious.
But yeah, I see that honey though, and the honey crisp. I don't. That's,
I wonder what a margarita tastes with.
It
made
does
with
have
this
that-
taste like.
It does have that
It's made
thick.
like apple margarita.
It does have that thick kind of.
I'm,
Yeah,
no,
that's
I'm-
why I was
I would like to make a
maple
margarita
syrupy.
with
I mean,
this.
it really does,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, we are. Oh, it's still. This thing's still on. Hey, folks.
Hey
Sorry
guys.
about that. Hey, how are you?
11 watching. We got one more since Ben Barsh
oh, I
left.
should probably turn my phone off.
He came over here and he left awfully fast.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, the show where he was on a few weeks ago, I mean, it was one of the worst rated in our history. So
Just
he's embarrassed
abysmal.
still. He's still embarrassed.
He's just
I told Jason the same thing. So
The hair.
one of them was right. One of them was yeah.
Yes,
No, all of our pre-con shows did very well.
they were great.
Yeah.
We
Great.
did.
I
Well.
listened to
We
them
did
all.
really
All the
good.
people that wish they could be here are like, whoa.
Look, you have nobody to blame yourself. If you want to get here, get here. You'll find a way.
If you can only
Richard
come to one.
LeBlanc has heart surgery tomorrow, and he made it. That guy's an inspiration.
Yeah,
he can make
nobody
it-
has an excuse.
If he makes it,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. yes. I mean, this guy over here, Jason Braun. I can't even say it. I don't think I can say that right now. But he had I'm just gonna say it. He had genital reduction surgery last week. There he is. I'm impressed.
Reduction, like people are gonna believe that's the way you win.
I'm trying to save you.
The show is supposed to get better week by week, right?
No, that's not guaranteed. That's not my contract. No, that's not guaranteed at all.
Yeah. It's a contract on this?
I think there was one. I thought I signed something. I don't know.
Eric,
It was in blood. I don't know.
What'd you do, Eric?
I did nothing. Listen. I am maybe the face of this, but that's about it. I'm just a.
Okay.
You've heard the
I'll buy
expression
that.
about having a face for radio.
Yeah.
You're looking at it.
Apple. Ooh, Apple Sunrise. Thank you, Bob. He said Tequila Sunrise and Apple Sunrise. I'm interested.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
interested.
that might be. What is it? It's like the orange juice tequila. Sunrise.
Yes.
Tequila Sunrise is the orange.
Oh, that'd
juice,
be so sweet. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It just happens to the alcohol. Just happens to tequila. That's what it tastes like to me.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you know what? You make
Yeah,
You
you
would
make a
pair-
good point.
You pair this with another liquor that wasn't quite as sweet.
For sure, you need something that's
Yeah.
got to cut this.
You got to balance it out.
because it's heavy. It's heavy. It's
You know
thick.
Very heavy.
If
Yeah.
you made like a schnapps,
And they don't mix it.
or make
fully,
it mix it with orange juice, that would be really nice. And like,
I think orange would be too sweet.
I
Well,
do
it'd be,
too.
it'd be citrusy though. It'd be very citrusy.
yeah.
Some of that and some ginger beer might be nice too.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And it would actually, if you pour it out, it would look almost like a beer.
That would be
Ginger.
But you couldn't go with a really strong ginger beer, I think.
No, you'd
you
have
have to go with a lighter one.
Right.
Because you want that apple to come
But there's
through.
so much sweet.
Well, how did this company go bankrupt? We've already thought about 15 drinks we'd like to make with booze.
They went bankrupt.
I think
Yep, that's
I
what
think
Steve was
it's because
saying.
of the
You
tequila
got some
side.
kind of sale. They're
Yeah.
just getting rid of it all. The whole company's under. The whole company's
generally
gone
speaking,
down.
you make tequila, you want it to taste
It was
like-
created by a porn
Yeah,
star.
it did not taste like-
female porn
I'm
star.
kind of guessing by the label
Yeah.
that
And it went bankrupt.
that does make sense. But
But I mean, as much as we're talking about it, I can't believe it went under.
it's got a sweet cap
Yeah.
too. I mean,
I know,
rare
it's
now.
nice.
People can't get it.
Yes. So, Rich, you're gonna try to.
I'm gonna take bids for it. I'm gonna take bids for
you
it.
should.
Yeah, we're gonna sell this. We're gonna
It's
save the
not
con,
mine.
man.
That's got to be on the midnight offer.
Save the con.
Yeah.
Give us bids on our tequila. The con's not actually in trouble, but just save the con anyway. Yeah, whatever. We'll just do it. We'll save the con. All right. Well, we have another hour to go. What the hell are we going to talk
You got
about?
another
I
hour?
don't know.
This is
Usually do
this
about
is
2
too
hours.
long.
Here, hold on. Let me. Rach, I'm gonna give you the rest of this.
You want something else? I got the room.
No.
That's why you've never been on the
She
show,
won.
Bill,
She won.
because you have no staying.
I have been on a show. I'm that forgettable.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I knew you wanted to
Our
drink.
lowest rated show ever.
Lowest rated show
Lowest
ever.
rated ever.
People called me and said they were boycotting.
I don't know how
Never again. I will not appear ever again.
I haven't had scotch.
No, the worst one, I have to tell you a little anecdote, was I was on Carl Hiles' one. You say for died, right?
Mhm.
Because you took that one over.
Yeah.
So they had me on when we were doing the BX Kickstarter.
The only thing
I
I'm
was
familiar
so
with is
flipping sick.
Oh,
I
boy.
cannot believe I was on a show. I could the next day I couldn't remember what I
So
said.
there's like stuff
I'm like,
coming
I
out
don't
of your nose, or
oh,
just like,
no, I wasn't that bad, but I was rocked. I was rocked. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I say last night? I had no idea. I had to
You had
listen
no
to it.
personality.
Oh, it wasn't very good.
Oh,
No,
dear.
it was. I felt bad for Carl. I called him, apologized. I said, dude, I was so sick. It was just that was terrible. That was terrible. I have to say, it was the last time I was sick.
Tom Canals and I have a great one once, and I don't. Tom Canals and I have to tell a story sometime when I get him on the show, but we were on a show and it was a real weird format, and I don't know how they picked Tom and I going there, but it was two other people, and the show was about VTTs and virtual gaming, which Tom Canals and I know nothing about, zero.
I could see they got the.
And the other two guys knew exactly what they're talking about. So it was literally 2 hours of me and Tom going, yeah,
Sounds good. That's right.
Right. And those guys just going like this. I mean, they just
Yeah,
like,
right.
And like, here's the implications of VTT gaming. They're all on. I'm like, And like, so all during the thing, Tom and I are
Whatever you
texting
say.
back and forth, like, what the fuck did they just say?
You're doing what Jason.
Like, we don't even know what they said.
They're
Yeah.
talking and you're texting.
We had no clue. We were like, we were texting each other back and forth on our phones going, what is going on? I don't know. What are they talking about? I have no clue.
I gotta come
Just
clean.
keep nodding. Just nod.
I'll come
yeah.
clean right now. I still don't know. I know virtually nothing about any of that. That's
It's kind
the
of a future game, but
I
I'm
know
with
it
you too.
really
Yeah,
is.
know,
I get
really
it,
is.
but I know
It's a lot better now than it was. I remember 10 years ago, around 10, 15 years ago, trying to do that.
Yeah.
Man, it sucked.
So it's. I mean, we knew it was an important subject and it was awesome, but Tom and I,
absolutely.
they got so technical that Tom and I
Right.
were lost. I mean, it'd be
Right.
different. It's like, hey, what's the effect of VTT gaming on people? I'm like, you two don't VTT game because we didn't. Well, what's your idea? And so, but it wasn't about that. It was like, we're going to go super technical into what the technical aspects of VTT game were. And Tom Canals and I are just like showing like,
Well, there's so many platforms. There are just multiple platforms for it
Right.
now, and just. I mean, you got all these projects.
There
You got all these projects that are including right, like digital tokens and all those kinds of things now. I mean, it's become
Is it easy to use though?
become more standardized, I think, than a lot of us old grognards would like to believe.
So-
That's exactly what it is.
so
And you and I probably should not start talking
I'll
about
say,
it because that's going to be
resetting
we're not gonna
on the
fill an
podcast here. Bill Barsh and I are typically to talk about VTTs.
that,
And-
yes.
Did you like hijack the hosting?
He left.
I had to get up. I had to actually.
Well, you notice your dad
Rich
was
came,
on
so I
my
had to see how
seat
to
for a
rip.
while. and
I was
he's in
there for
that
a while,
seat.
and now
Yes.
I'm in this one.
So
and
you-
I'm about to kick myself
So you
out.
live with the guy.
Yeah,
You kind of know what's
that's
going
fine.
on
I
here.
probably gotta go through all the comments.
Good pizza or just close to pizza?
Isn't there a place up the street with the brick on
Klowski's or Klowski's or something. It's right up the street.
What are you looking
All right.
for?
Domino's, yeah. No, Domino's. Okay. Okay. Papa John's. Okay.
No, again,
Papa John's.
No.
Papa
You have
John's.
to-
There's a good.
Like to get the
What's that? There's a good local place called Where's it at? Where's it at?
Which is the one?
Keep reading
Let me
names.
see.
There's a real good one.
Yeah.
I just can't remember the name right now. What's the place that does the square pizzas? Fratelli's is really good. Yeah. You see Fratelli's on there. There should be
You
one
guys
pretty
already
close.
went out to eat, right?
We here.
Over here.
Oh, you're here.
Mike treated us.
No,
There's no conversation right now, apparently.
We talked about
Talking about
We
pizza.
talked about tequila for like 30 minutes. We can talk about
There's
pizza.
plenty of conversation.
Pizza can have 5 minutes.
Podcast.
No. This is.
It's literally talking prick.
Maybe
you should eat some green stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna reach in and.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, we gotta have someone next to do
Wow.
something here.
What did James say?
I don't know. James is just babbling. Mike means he doesn't wear a lot of shirts. Period. That's true. Let me see. Albert Rodeo. Yes, Albert Rodeo is a good VTT solution. I've heard people talk about that is actually really easy to use. Yes, and pizza always deserves time. You're absolutely correct, David.
Absolutely.
They get the spicy sausage for the sausage party. That is this.
We have Barsh Mark 1 and Mark 2. That is correct. You absolutely do right now.
Yes.
Too many Bosches.
Wow. Is there ever too many bars?
Never.
No.
It's an easy
No.
answer.
That's a no. Answer no.
More James.
No. Less James.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might want to skip.
Yeah.
All right.
Less James.
Couldn't read it, so.
Now we're getting back into the booze conversation. Which
Well-
is not a bad conversation to have on a Wednesday night
Right.
in North Texas.
Yeah, speaking of which, Matt Roberts wants to get roasted tonight. I'm like, dude, it's Wednesday.
He's at the bar, dude.
I
I'm pretty
know.
sure.
Oh, he'll be asleep by the time we get through with this. Awesome. Don't have to worry about it. Lightweight Easter coaster. We'll be all right.
Wolfern.
Yeah, Albert Rodeo. I have some friends that have used it. They love it, and I still don't know what it is. I
I
just
was gonna
know
say.
it's useful if you do VTT. So
I thought it was an idea for an adventure. Owlbear Rodeo.
that also.
That could be. My
Make it happen.
All the chances that Ben has to do OK Boomer over there, he's just totally ignoring him
I've looked at all
because he's on Tinder, right? He's on Tinder, and so he's
The
ignoring.
man's got to order some
He's on
pizza.
Grindr.
Oh, he's on Grinder. He's on Grinder and not throwing an OK Boomer out here. I can't.
Man's got to order some food.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Owlbear
He's
Rodeo?
looking at grinders. I'm sorry, I got that all
Okay.
confused.
No, Owlbear Rodeo is good for pickup games or one-offs. Or if you're trying to do a campaign, it's not really set up for campaigning.
Way to bring it back to gaming, Eric.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
That's what professionals do. That's That's
Oh my
amazing. Amazing man.
See, this is where I should stay because it makes me look nice and thin.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like, who's that thin guy against the wall?
So here we go. Since we got him back here and I've got Bill right here, you've been to every NTR Texas, correct?
I've been to every
Or
single one. Yes,
Last year. was kind of
I did the
tricky.
virtual thing, so
It's
Doug
tricky.
said it counts.
Right, it
Because
does.
Texas said Barsh isn't allowed to come here from Michigan.
So
They outlawed
here's
it.
what. So I'm going to throw some memories out about the first North Texas.
Yes.
Now tell me how I'm right. This is how great my mind
Okay, this is
trapped.
gonna.
You were on a business site and you drove from there. You didn't drive from home. Right?
That's correct. I was in Memphis, Tennessee
That's
on a
it.
project.
And you drove straight through. It was like a 8-hour drive.
7-8 hour drive
Yeah.
from Memphis. It wasn't too bad, and I mean it was kind of almost a last minute thing because obviously NTX was going on. You
Right.
guys said we're having this convention, and I think
We didn't even know we were really going to have the con until a month before. It was like,
Right,
okay,
it was-
yeah, I guess we'll have it.
it was
you
very
know.
spur of the
Yeah,
moment.
it's very
No,
spur of
and
the
I
moment.
drove down and we stayed at the little Quinta, right?
La Quinta.
La
Yeah.
Quinta, yeah, and
It was fun.
gamed.
It
It
was
was
a
a
time.
blast.
We had a
It was a
blast.
blast. I got playing D&D in a closet.
Oh my God.
The room was like 8
We
by
had
8.
a room that like as big as a bedroom you had in high school. You had 4 tables crammed in there,
Yes.
and there was a closet they stored the tables in.
And that's where I played with.
Once we cleared it
yes.
out, we put a table in there.
With Matt, I played with Matt Finch, Swords and Wizardry. First time I'd ever played the
me
game.
too.
Hooked me, line and sinker.
Me too. He ran
Um,
Spire of Iron Crystal.
Yes,
was
yep.
great.
Great. So
I know
much fun.
you and I were there. Dr. Joe was there. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Who
I have
else
a
was there.
picture of the table.
Yeah, it's
actually.
awesome.
I actually do have a
Yeah,
picture.
I was
from
the same
that
way. And Matt sold out of every copy of Swords Wizardry Rules he brought that weekend when after that.
He
game.
gave me. He
Is it
actually,
like-
he actually gave me a
Do you have any more
copy, and I'm
copies
like,
there?
wow.
Yeah, that was great.
No,
yeah, it was awesome.
That was
He did a good
that
job.
convention was just so much fun.
And that was the convention where Matt shows up, and I thought he was just some game professional because he'd written this rule system.
Yes.
And I was like, so, what do you do for game? He goes, I don't know. I've never run a game at a convention before. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me? What? He goes, yeah, sometimes I have anxiety in front of people. I'm like, what? Dude.
He did that.
He didn't. He was
No, he
awesome.
killed it.
He
It was
kicked
so much fun.
ass. It was great.
Yeah.
Yes, so that got me hooked on Swords Wizardry.
If you played Swords and Wizardry in that game and you couldn't fall in love with that game, there's something wrong with you. I mean, it was.
I still love Spire of Iron Crystal too. One of my
It's a great
favorite
adventure.
adventures. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
great
great adventure. But yeah, that was cool because that was a really neat moment. I met so many people that day. I met Liz and Mike Stewart that weekend. I'd never met them before, although I talked to them online.
Yeah.
Obviously, I met guys like Dennis Astaire, Frank. Well, no, I actually knew Frank Metzer. I knew Rob Coots, and I think I knew Tim Kask.
Was
also.
Tim there?
Yeah,
Tim was there, right?
and Tim Kask, and then Janelle Jaquez was there. I'd not met Janelle.
Yes.
And so it was awesome. I think we ended up with 55 people or something like that.
50 some people.
Yeah, and we still have to this day. I think we still got a good 14 of them.
You're in the teens still, right? So we're hanging in there.
No.
Me or Gary? What do you?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let me look at it. Thank you so much.
He's not right online.
That is my heart.
What this is? All right, mystery there. We will.
Dun, dun, dun. Again, this is
If anybody
the,
sees Gary, we'll hand this to Gary.
this is the behind the con. Behind
The
con.
nuts and bolts. The nuts and bolts of running a game convention. Now, was the first NTX? Now this is great because our memories are a little fuzzy. Was that the one where Tim ran that event and lost his mind, or was that the second?
Okay,
one?
no. So
that two?
There's two fun things that happened. So, well, it wasn't fun.
No,
So
it was not.
We Al Silcock was running a version of Teagle Manor, and
Yeah,
center stage.
That's right. Matt
was
Solarz-
running an assassin.
Well, I was in
It
that game.
Secret assassin. He
I
was
was in
the
that.
assassin.
Yes, and I was in
And
that game.
And so Tim sat in there.
Tim was
playing a
playing.
druid. He was playing a druid.
Yes.
And for some reason, Matt thought it'd be a great idea to backstab his character and kill him.
not for some reason. So what happened was Alan gave us all. He gave every one of us a secret mission
yeah.
to do while we were in
His was to
Teagle
kill the
Manor.
whole party or something.
And Matt's mission was, he was an assassin, I think, because we're playing probably 1E. And his task was to assassinate all the other player characters. And we were battling some, I don't know, shadow dragon or something. It was ugly. Half the party was getting wiped out, was covered in darkness. And I think Tim's character was outside and Matt's character was outside in this darkness.
And he said it was a great idea.
And Matt said, hey, perfect timing.
And Tim didn't know that everybody had a secret thing. He
Yes.
just thought that this player is just trying to kill me because I'm Tim Kask and I'm famous, and he's just like
He's
trying
just
to
trying to
get some
kill
credit.
me. Yes.
Yeah. And so that was Tim left the room. It was not a pleasant experience.
And that was the first year, right?
Yeah.
That was still the first year.
Yeah.
That was an eventful
Tim
year.
also had a TPK the night before, which is kind of funny. First TPK we ever had. Everybody failed their saving throw after a lich attack.
Oh, it's Tim Kask.
That was funny.
Tim Kask going to kill people.
Yeah, it was great.
He's not Jim Ward level.
We had some great games. That was the game where Rob Kuntz Rob Kuntz plays a version of D&D that's very. I guess I don't know. If you, so what's the name of this? So he plays it whatever the dice say you do. He does not intervene whatsoever. So that's
Right.
Simulators. There's a name for that.
Yeah, there is an
Where
name.
like you don't
It's,
do anything. Like basically the way the dice rolls, way it goes. So they're going through El Raja K, and he's rolling for wandering monsters. Nothing happens. They wander through for 2 hours, and nothing happens because he's rolling the dice, and Tim's like, "Nope, no more monsters, no monsters."
Yeah.
I mean, whereas any one of us would have said, "Okay, these guys need a break," and we throw a
Interject,
monster at him.
right.
So something would happen. Nope, that's not the way Rob Kuntz runs his game. So half the table quits at a certain point, and then he's yelling at Alan Grohe because he's not doing the map right. Alan quits mapping. So the game ends up they're on their third mapper because Rob Kuntz has ridiculed the other mappers enough that they quit, and they get lost and they all die finally in a battle against Knowles.
Well,
And
Rob's
I'm like,
serious.
That's not a yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a happy fun gaming experience for anybody involved.
And I wasn't part of any. I
It was
missed that whole section.
But it was funny though. It was funny at the
Yeah,
time
it
because I was
had to be
laughing.
funny. Which would be hard to miss something because again, the
Oh,
convention was
God.
small and we were all pretty tight. But
It was hilarious.
but
But yeah,
it
we
was-
had a great time. That was
a great
that first game. It was so successful. Everybody loved it so much. And
Yep.
we're like, we got to do this again next year. So we just kept getting a little better. Next year, we went to a better hotel. We spent 2 years in that. The year after that, went to worst hotel after that.
Worst hotel
but then,
ever,
but then
Holiday Inn
after that,
Fire.
we went to the Marriott, which was a major step up. And ever since then, we've slowly been moving up the ladder. And it was
Yes.
that was if we hadn't had such a great time that first year, I don't know if there would have been a second year.
never after
We might have
going
thought,
that,
you know,
after
what
going
it
that
is.
convention. I've said the same thing to everyone ever since. If you can only go to one, and you like old school gaming at all, or want to walk in with people, this is it.
Yeah.
And it's so friendly. And when we were talking earlier about I think when you said, when me and Eric were talking, like how are there so many people here on Wednesday? It's not even running. Other conventions have a social. We have a social day at NTX.
Sure.
And it's absolutely for anyone.
I think it's now
who wants
if
to
you
come.
go now the other con that's sort of like this in that regard is GaryCon because people
A
will
little
start,
bit.
they'll get to GaryCon on Monday.
They
and
do.
they'll be
There are people
gaming,
who start
like,
gaming
way
early.
But yeah,
there's
that's a much bigger con. You have a bigger pool of gamers to draw from. in
It's
that con.
it's
getting to be a very big con.
It's a very big con, and it's still great. It's GaryCon's a blast. We go every
Yeah.
year to that one also. Every year. Don't miss it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
We moved to Wisconsin just so we wouldn't have to drive so far.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh, that's commitment.
That is
Well,
That
you
is
got that, and you got
commitment.
Gamehole Con too. You got
That
two
Gamehole's
cons.
not far
Yeah.
in Madison.
We got t-shirts from Game Con upstairs on the 14th
Oh
floor.
my gosh, yeah.
And we'll wear them tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Beautiful.
I have seen you there. I remember seeing you guys there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, we are kind of memorable.
Well, thank you for coming to our con. We love you here too. We love having seen everybody.
Hey, we are semi-retired. I'm trying to get him to quit working altogether, but he
Amen.
won't.
Yeah.
He wants to work, so I let him. But his job is to make sure of the entertainment, getting us into cons, and the food. But
Food
the
is
thing
critical.
Great.
The thing is, he has not yet been able to get me to be a GM at any of these cons. I've been GMing since 1985. Do you know what it's like not to be able to GM?
You are welcome to GM at this con anytime you want.
I have a sheet up on the bulletin board. It's called a Tuma Nikita. And I was talking to somebody earlier who remembers running that game at Gary Con. I wasn't a sanctioned GM.
And speaking of GaryCon too, it stinks for GaryCon because they had the real unfortunate problem of being the first con that really got canceled once COVID started in
The
2019.
timing of
And then
COVID
this year, it still
killed them.
wasn't good
Timing of
enough
COVID
to
killed them.
for them to come again. And we were actually very lucky because by the time June rolls around, Texas is pretty much wide open. Everybody's had shots, and so they just had terrible luck.
I will
at
say,
GaryCon.
and to give GaryCon some absolute props. I mean, they've had their things here and there. It's a great convention to go to. It's a lot of fun.
Luke is watching.
Oh, Luke's watching.
I don't know
Awesome.
if
Hey,
Luke's
Luke.
watching.
I don't know. We don't know.
But
He does
what I
sometimes.
will say is they're way ahead of the game right now than they ever were before because we're vendors there also. We try to go to all the OSOR cons that we can, and but they're all over it, and it's really nice to see how organized they are and what's going on. Jim Kitchen's bringing some pizza, so
Not for us.
I wouldn't have even ordered food.
Well, I don't think that's the kind you were looking for, is it?
One thing
I
about
would have
Gary
been fine.
Con-
Jesus.
Yeah, he's a-
Come on.
Does anybody want a free slice of pepperoni?
Yeah, actually.
I'm watching my weight.
Like I
No, I'm
said.
I'm watching mine too. I just watched it.
I'm watching it go up. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
watching
no,
my weight. All right.
Just so we can go.
Oh,
I've already peaked at my blood
I
sugar.
love that, except the fact I'm in Michigan and I'm getting the hell out of Michigan and down to Florida because I'm done
Amen,
with the cold.
I can't.
when you do that, let
But-
me know because my wife and I retired
Oh,
South Padre.
we're,
We got 4 more years and
God's
we're out. We're in South
we're-
Padre.
all I can say is my wife's got 3 more years left. I'm done this year basically.
Well, good. You moved
But,
there.
um,
I'll move to South Texas. We'll go back and forth.
But
It'll
we
be
are
awesome.
we're already in the process. I mean, all 3 of my kids are already down there. How they beat me down there, I'll never know because
Yeah.
the only thing I say is that's the mark of I must have done something right because my kids are all smarter than me.
So it's not hard to
I
have
must have-
happen, but
You're
hey,
probably right about that part. But yeah.
Well, I can smell the preparation from here. Holy moly!
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
Well,
So-
but you can have some
I have a
apple tequila to go with.
recommendation.
She graduates high
So,
school. He's not
if
leaving.
you like a good tequila,
So.
No, well, I like a good tequila, but this is not. This
No,
is
I'm
a,
done with the cold.
apple
I've
tequila.
had
It's,
enough.
it's
What part
weird.
of Florida's
so,
he in?
Steve Marsh bought this. We tried it. It's
Yeah.
So what's
different.
I'd say it's good.
It's an
liquor.
apple tequila.
I wouldn't say it's good.
It's
tequila.
Right,
Right.
You're absolutely right. That is a great. Chris,
This-
there you go.
this-
You
Yeah.
can't drink it and go, that's
No,
tequila.
it tastes great.
No,
on
it doesn't
ice,
even taste
but
like
straight,
tequila.
It
If
was
doesn't
like
taste
it was
like
not good,
tequila,
Jim.
it's-
No.
So that
Straight
might
But it is a good
so
alcohol.
maybe that contributes to the fact why they went under.
That's what I'm
They're trying to sell tequila that's not.
Yeah.
This is not
Trying to make it
tequila.
palatable here.
Yeah.
This is not
It,
tequila.
it's a liquor.
It
Yes.
certainly
Happens
is.
It's very
to be-
sweet, very
Yeah.
sticky,
Yeah.
sweet. Yes.
Whatever.
Which might be why they went bankrupt.
Because
so
Whatever
my
that
favorite
is.
tequila
I would buy it, but I think a lot of tequila drinkers. I used to work.
Heard
I used to work
Supreme
at a
Selection.
Very
liquor store,
good.
right?
Uh-huh.
which is
Yeah, but
just
but my tequila drinkers, I think if they drank that, they'd be like,
sunlight in the
No,
glass.
it's because
Good
it's
stuff.
they would.
it doesn't
My
taste
wife
anything
used to
like
do
tequila. I mean, it just doesn't.
I wouldn't know.
My wife used to go to Mexico to the
But,
agave fields.
I would buy it and drink it.
And hey, it's
But-
11 o'clock. Let's go.
I'm enjoying it right now,
So true
Yeah,
tequila
but-
story.
but it is.
I
Like I
have
said,
never
it's
got
heavy and
drunk
it's
on
thick.
tequila
I mean,
my
this is
entire
something I'm
life,
gonna
and I
like.
used to drink 2
I'm
bottles a
drinking this
weekend.
tonight.
Back
All
in my
night long.
day.
That's not
I
going on.
never got drunk on it. I don't know what it was. I had some kind of weird resistance to tequila. I don't know why.
It needs
I
something.
never got drunk on
It
it.
I could see spiking my apple cider with this.
I mean,
that
I used to
would
drink
do.
top shelf tequila when I was in college because I was a snob. I was a booze snob.
Everybody had to have that.
Want the last one?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'm
Chris
ready
is
to
not-
watch.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
You're giving me pizza.
So
and
I
I'm
can
gonna
eat half a
carry out
large,
the draft.
right? I can eat half a large, but at that point, then it's like, okay.
Because I was gonna go out and get some.
Jim, this is. I know this is Texas. This is Texas. We do have real pizza places
No, I
here.
know that,
You don't
but-
have to eat Domino's here in Texas.
What? I want it quick and dirty.
All right, so
That's quick
He
and
agrees.
dirty,
The
right.
Owlbear Rodeo should be an adventure.
all right.
I might have to get on that this
We
week.
got some good
There
local
you go.
pizza places. Seriously, I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you.
Bob would swag and support the con. Bob G.
Bob's good. Bob is good people.
No, we're doing it here for a
It's
reason.
interruptions that happen to be linked together.
To the podcast.
You know what?
This is the worst podcast ever. Ever.
My only Gary Gygax.
This is the best pizza you ever
Yes.
had. Great.
It is.
My
It's.
pie, I'm like,
It's the only one I have,
Okay,
but it's a
one
good.
of the items. So
Everything you have is good.
You want to take a seat?
It's not something
I don't know.
Yeah, he's been sitting here way.
Oh, yeah, I probably gotta get out of here at some point.
We've
Well, you know what we do need
we
to
about
do?
drained the Bill
Well,
Marsh.
oh yeah, they're way over.
Yeah.
What needs to happen though is a video NTX history. I think
We
you're
should do that
stumbling on
someday
something.
because
we
you know,
really
you're
should
right.
do
There's
that
only
because-
about 15 of us left that have been to every one of us.
Yes,
Every one.
and there's stories
And
that
the
need
stories
to
are
be,
going to get lost. You're
their
absolutely
stories
correct.
need to be
Yeah.
recorded. I think
Yes.
it'd be awesome.
One where I lost my virginity in that closet.
And some of them
That's
should
definitely-
should never see the light of day. But yes, definitely some should be recorded. Jim, get in here and tell your story.
Please. Jim Kitchens, everybody. No longer Kitchen, no longer in Can- no
There's
longer
only one.
no longer Canadian Jim Kitchens.
No more. Okay.
Now I'm back in he's back in the USSA.
So my first Gen Con was 1993.
Newcomer.
And yeah, so my first Gen Con was 1993, and I never got a chance to experience Gen Con without working behind the curtain, right? So I'd go to Mecca, build out everything, work the show. But my first year, I was working at the Armory, and so there used to be a charity fundraiser at Gen Con where people in bad Klingon attire would come and arrest you.
Yes.
And they would take you to a Klingon jail.
Then in Klingon jail.
And they would then subject you to Klingon
That
poetry.
wasn't Klingon jail. You're right.
Women dressed as Lursa and Bator would avail themselves of
Oh
you.
my gosh.
And so
This is
mild humiliation.
definitely the 90s.
And
this
so-
is the 90s now.
you had to make bail or you were stuck there for some period of time. So I got arrested twice that year. And the first time I got arrested, I was like, I got stuff to do. Here's $5. I'm out of here. But the second time I was like, holy crap, it's the only break I'm going to have in 4 days. And I'll just wait here until they throw me out. So they throw me in the cell and I'm sitting there and over to my left, it's empty. And I look to my right and it's Gary. Holy crap, right? Like now, 10-year-old me is vibrating with excitement because, oh my God, I finally get a chance to meet the guy who changed my life. I get to meet Gary Gygax.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, what do you say? Like, what is the right thing to say at this moment? And so I'm an idiot. I say, okay, I know how I got here. How did you get here? And without missing a beat, Gary says, Lorraine.
Oh,
I would have paid money to be
wow.
And I kid you not,
Holy
like I just
crap.
cough. I start to explode. And he starts to laugh. And then he's like, yeah, I've been here long enough. And he leaves.
He just walked out.
And I thought,
Finished.
my God, right? Is there like this is the only story I have. I don't have his autograph. I never asked him for his autograph, but really and truly, this is the single best Gary Gygax story I could have ever hoped for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, it really.
Thank you, Jim.
So
That is
there you
awesome.
go. I mean,
Much
Boom.
better than my story, which
Yeah.
was.
Thank you for bringing. See, and that
Gary,
was a-
please sign my book.
We can segue back to the NTX issue. That is a
Oh.
great part of Gen Con history. A lot of people don't remember is Klingon jail because back,
Oh.
but back then it was actually kind of terrible. Yeah, really. This makes it sound a lot better than it was, but it was that was like pre-cosplay Gen Con because early '90s people really weren't dressing up at Gen Con. I mean, it was
Right.
kind of like when someone came dressed up, you're kind of like, what are you doing?
are you okay?
Right?
You know, you hot glued that thing to your forehead to be a Klingon, and it looks like it hurts.
You're making all those geeks look bad.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what we were thinking.
and then okay, so would you like my only Raven C.S. McCracken story?
Oh, this is the guy who
Oh.
wrote. What was the game?
The
he wrote?
World of Cinnabar.
Yes.
Cinnabar.
Oh my God.
Which is a classic
So,
let's not use that one.
so,
in
so,
its own
Well,
right.
it is classic.
so
Classic something. Yes.
World of Cinnabar was summed up as a complete role-playing game in a single volume. And it was actually published by a retailer out on the West Coast out near Seattle. And it was written by a local guy named Raven C.S. McCracken. At this point, you should actually try to find the author's credit page from the World of Cinnabar, because not only does it have Raven C.S. McCracken doing this, but it then sums up the Raven C.S. McCracken experience, where he talks about how he rode horses, has shot guns, and all of this, if I'm quoting, all of this is why the World of Cinnabar rings with authenticity. So back up a second. I'm involved in a game store in Ashland, Kentucky. And we have a guy that comes in and is like, I'd like to order a copy of the World of Cinnabar. And I said, well, it's not something we normally stock. I'll be glad to order it for you. But if we order it for you, no return allowed.
No take backs.
No take back.
No take backs.
And so I'll give you 20% off because it is a special order item, but you cannot return this. And he's like,
Final.
all sales are final. He's like, I know, I'm not sure. And he leaves.
No returns, no exchanges.
Week later, to the day, comes back. Do you have the World of Cinnabar? I was like, no, we talked about this last week. I'm not going to order it. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'm not sure. Third week in a row, same Thursday, comes in. As soon as he walks through the door, it's like, I didn't order it. I don't have it. If you want it, you need to pay for it. He's like, okay. So he buys it. I get a copy in, and it is just as bad as I have heard. I thumb through it, and I'm like, oh. Put it aside, put it in the special order bin. He comes in, right? Yep, here you go. He's like, oh, and he sort of shimmies out. An hour and a half later, he's back in the store. Hi, I'd like to return this for my money back. I'm like, no,
What do you not
I
understand?
told you
About
this
sales
beforehand.
and
Like, you don't get to do this. And he's like, "Ah." So that's my only experience. But here I am at Gen Con in 1993, and I'm walking along in the aisle, and who do I see but Raven C.S. McCracken? And I say, now you take a look at him, right? He's got long hair, and he's sort of just in motion. And I don't mean like his hand when he talks. I mean, Raven is in constant motion. And I said, excuse me, aren't you Raven C.S. McCracken? And he goes, yes. Boom! Standing backflip in the aisle, lands and goes, yes, I am Raven C.S. McCracken. And now I'm like,
Wow.
I'm like, well, I said, are you okay? And he goes, well, no, not really. I don't have a hotel room, and I've been awake for 2.5 days, but I'm okay. And I said, well, I don't know. You seem a little wound up. And he says, why would you say that? I said, just a hint. You did a backflip. He goes, yeah, I do those a lot when I'm tired. I said, okay.
Me too. But yeah,
Well,
okay, gotcha.
Well, sure enough.
Dude.
And I said, I sold a copy of your game one time through my store. How many did you sell? Just one. Oh, well, that's one more. Okay. And he like disappears in a cloud of pixie dust.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, this is what the RPG industry really is about. It gives you a chance to meet luminaries
Or lunatics.
or
Thank you.
like Raven
There we go.
C.S. McCracken.
Oh.
So
Well, that yes. If you have never seen World of Cinnabar, if you ever see a copy,
Don't.
pick it up.
pick it up,
because
but don't take it home.
you don't know the best unless you've seen the worst. Until
Oh.
you've seen the worst, you don't know what the best is.
And I love that there was, in fact, a companion volume because they couldn't actually nail the RPG in a single book.
Right. We need to get more stuff, more back.
There's an argument that's the worst I've written because Fatal might be a joke. There's always this. There's just been theory that Fatal's a joke. It's not a real game.
I think that's a prayer. We
World
all
of
hope and
Cinnabar
pray.
is not a joke. He
No.
absolutely believed in that system. And if you ever read interviews with the dude, he's exactly how you describe him. He is 100% into the he believed
Raven
it. He,
C.S. McCracken.
he is not joking. Like I said, Fatal could be a joke. World of Cinnabar is not a joke. He
No.
absolutely thought. Didn't he try to run a Kickstarter a few years ago? To
He
get the second
did,
edition?
and
Yeah.
it did not
Failed
fund.
miserably,
It did
not.
not fund. And in fact, here I'll give your faithful viewers a tip off.
Nice.
Take the time to Google a news story, or I'm sorry, a story called "The Death of the Minotaur,"
Which is a great story. I know exactly what you're talking about.
by John
it's a
Scott
wonderful
Tynes.
story.
John Scott Tynes was writing about his experience working in the RPG group
Right.
at Wizard back in the 90s before his now current employment at Wizards. And so he talks about the corporate culture at Wizards of the Coast at the time and various shenanigans. But one of the things that he had to do, and there's no spoiling the story, at one point, Peter pulls him into an office to have a discussion with Raven C.S. McCracken about possible employment in futures.
Wow.
And without saying another word, it is absolutely anybody who has any interest in the history of the RPG industry and Wizards, you need to look up John Scott Tynes' The Death of the
It's
Minotaur.
it's a great
Fabulous
great
read.
story. Yeah.
You want another one? You want another story?
Like,
Bring it
what
on,
are we
story
doing?
time.
All
Like,
right.
we got anything going
You
on?
said you had to kill some time.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so
just waiting for my husband.
There you go.
I used to-
My-
I used
wish
to-
My husband was here.
Jim
He was
Kitchen.
so
Oh,
Ladies and
stop.
gentlemen.
Oh,
So-
this is being on YouTube.
So I used to work for Games Workshop.
Yeah, he'll be able to see you.
And one of the things that I've always felt is really key is if you're going to work in a booth at a show like Gen Con or Origins or anywhere, you have people that are absolutely, this is their chance to bend somebody's ear, and everybody ought to get 5 to 10 minutes. That doesn't mean you let them subject you to abuse, but you absolutely, if you've got somebody who's passionate about what they love and passionate about the game that you're repping or being a part of, then you do sort of owe it to folks to genuinely reward that attention. So if you approach me at the Games Workshop booth at any point that I was at Gen Con or Origins and you had questions or you just wanted to talk about your army, I would absolutely give you that opportunity. But one day, I'm at Gen Con in like 1994, and a guy walks up and he says, excuse me, I have something that the studio needs to receive. And I said, well, the address for the studio is on all of our box product, but please understand that any submissions become property of Games Workshop. So before you send it in, you just keep that in mind. He said, like, no, this is important. I said, okay, well, we can't really sort of do that for you. You need to self-submit. And he says, well, this is what's going to save Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, oh, okay.
There's a lot of trouble at the time. Yeah, right.
I'm like, okay. So second edition had gone fairly well at that point. We were puttering along with some codexes. Eldar were coming, and so he says, well, I recognize the deficit in Warhammer 40,000, and I have filled that deficit with this, my manuscript. And I look at it, and I'm like, the Codex Furs. F-U-R-Z. Or if you're in Canada, F-U-R-Z. And I said, okay, what is this? And he says, well, there aren't enough alien races in Warhammer 40,000. And so I have written a codex that fits that void with intelligent otters. Okay, well,
exactly what
the one thing it was missing.
I said, well, okay, well, I can't take that. You've got to send it to the studio. I really can't help you. It's like, so he's discouraged, but he leaves. And so then we move forward to 1995 at Gen Con in Milwaukee, and I'm working in the booth. Excuse me. Yes, how can I help? And you take one look and you're like, I know where this is going. And he says, I have a manuscript that you really have to send to the studio. And I'm like, Codex Furs? And he goes, yes. You remember, right? And there is excitement, and there is a palatable excitement in the air. And I said, well, as we discussed, I mean, I could take it, but I can't promise that it's going to make it to the studio. It would be far better if you took it and delivered it, mailed it yourself. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that. You need to take this. And, again, it's the well-loved manuscript. Well-loved. And I said, I really can't. Here's the address. It's on the back of everything. You need to send it in. I don't want to do that. And he sort of leaves once again. So now we're at 1996. And Andy Chambers is in the booth for Gen Con. And so, excuse me, whip around, and there he is. You've got a manuscript. You'd like to have it delivered to the studio. I've got just the right person. Hey, Andy. And Andy turns around and takes one look at me and says, I'm going to lunch. Like, son of a gun. And he walks away, and I have to have the Codex Furs discussion once again. And it does not go well. And then we never saw him again. So somewhere out there on the internet.
And that man grew up to be Eric Tenkar.
But Codex Furs.
See, I
You almost sound like that guy from The Simpsons.
I can sound like that mad scientist. I just need more alcohol. I should have brought some bourbon.
Oh dear.
No.
Oh, good booze.
I can't help but notice that I'm here at the NTRPG. And I'm being recorded.
Bring out in the Pepsi.
That's as good as it
Just
gets.
Jim Beam Black. It's nothing special.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
What's
dear.
this?
Jim Beam Black.
Jim drinks some gin.
Podcast, so I'll make sure.
It's called Talking Crit. Talking Crit. And if you're on Facebook,
Wonder
and
Twin
you're friends
powers
with,
activate.
with Tenkar on there, you have links to the Talking Crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you go to YouTube, just look up Tenkar's Tavern.
Oh yeah, look up Tenkar's Tavern.
Because that's where all the
Just look up Tenkar.
Mhm.
The first, it goes porn,
Yeah.
porn, then Talking Crit.
Wow.
And then
Really?
the other stuff.
That many porns?
Well, it's all
Hey,
that
you're
free
moving
stuff.
up.
You
You're
forgot
moving
that
up the
free.
ranking.
I was impressed.
It used to be 5. Now you're only 3.
Before, you look up Tenkar and you get Tenkara, which is like
Oh,
no.
Fly fishing without a reel.
no.
Yeah.
I know all about it.
Yes, I was like,
Really?
So
That's what they did with
It's Japanese origin.
chosen name.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
No.
any of this is good material. But
Hey, yeah, no, that's good. That's great. This is awesome. We're gonna have you as a guest on the show, Jim. We gotta have some talk.
We have to
some
have
Gen Con talk.
We have to have Gen Con auction
Yeah.
stories. Right?
Gen Con talk, Gen Con auction stories.
Anytime.
I can't wait for you. So I've seen you auction at Gary Con before,
Yes.
and you're very good, unlike myself. You do a great job. So I want to say that I have a few examples that I had of auction when I got into auction. You were one of my, not really idol, but just somebody that I looked at. I thought that guy's very confident in what he does, and that's somebody that I want to emulate as an auctioneer.
So I think the biggest success for auction. Are we still? We're still
Yeah,
doing this?
we're talking.
So I think one of the biggest successes, if you want to be a great auctioneer, it's just like any of this sort of stuff, right? So know what you know. Don't pretend what you don't know. Always be honest, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was talking about this in the car earlier. It was Mark Greenberg and a couple of other folks who I just met today. And I was talking about this, and I said, my real passion, like I love working at Gen Con and Gary Con, and I know miniatures really well because I work for Games Workshop and so on and so forth. I know RPG collectibles very well, not some of the more obscure stuff, but I have a very good working knowledge of it. But I love charity auctions because I think with charity auctions, my absolute duty is to shake every last penny out of everybody in the room.
Great idea. Great.
That if you are in the room, you are prepared to bid.
Correct.
And you wouldn't be there otherwise. And I'm a big believer that at the start of a charity auction, what you say is, this is not a bargain. You know, we're not here to hunt for bargains. We're here to raise money for the various causes. And I think
class up this podcast.
Oh my gosh. I think one of the things that you have to do, is that's all good.
Those are our serving girls, Jessica and Jamie. Awesome. Hello. We love them.
You have to put yourself in the charity auction.
Right.
So I'll come back to a story in a second from the next to last Gen Con that we had. But I was talking today and I said, when we can have an auction at Gen Con again. So we're not going to have one in 2021. We are going to have one in 2022. And I was trying to think about things. I always want to donate an item to the charity auction because I don't think it's fair to stand up at the podium and ask people to give without trying to deliver something yourself. And so I've had all of COVID to think about this. I've got all of 2021, but I've pretty much decided that for the next charity auction at Gen Con, I'm going to donate my Holmes box set that got me involved in the hobby.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
that's an important little acquisition there.
But it's a beat up copy of the Holmes rule book. It's a beat up copy of B1, but I got it on my birthday and my life was changed forever. And when we talk about charity auctions, we talk about what you can do with raising money for a charity auction. This is exactly what you want to do, is you want to change people's lives. One of the very first Gary Con where I was asked to be an auctioneer, it was a local Wisconsin charity where literally the amount of money that we raised for them changed the entire paradigm for the charity. Instead of, I've got this much money at the start of the month to help out foster kids, and I have to spend 28 days trying to raise that same amount of money every month. We bought them 6 months to really get a better grounding of things, but gave them a cushion that then let them approach fundraising without that hint of desperation. So Gen Con picks the charity partners. The auction house does not have any say in this, and so we go with whoever they are. But 2 years ago, and it's actually out somewhere on YouTube, my first convention was a little no-name convention called Augury in Ashland, Kentucky in 1981. And it was at the equivalent of an agricultural hall. There was probably 75 people total. I played in the tournament. I died in the first round of the tournament. I wore the wizard's robe my grandmother made for me. I still have the wizard's robe. Dear. But I found, in cleaning out my grandmother's house, I found a button from Augury. And I brought it to Gen Con, and it was just after I had finished 5 30-yard dumpsters of cleaning out my grandmother's house. So it was all, the stage was really sort of set to talk about that. And I said, I wanted to do something for the charity auction this year. And so I brought this. This is literally a button from the very first convention I ever went to. And I'm going to auction this off for charity. And I thought we'd get $100.
Sure.
We got $3,700.
Wow.
And we got we got a Navy and an Air Force guy who got into a bidding war. And Navy ended up winning, but then turned around after he paid for it and put it on Air Force chest.
I hate this stuff.
And really and truly, you talk about ninjas cutting onions in the room, right? Like there wasn't a dry eye in the joint. Yeah. And that feeling is what I love about charity auctions. You know, this is my first NTRPG, but the thing that I love about this is NTRPG exists because of one man's desire to fill a niche in the area with a show, make it a show that is as open to everyone as could possibly be. And when we talk about hitting above your weight class, you know, I'm badge number 275 this year. So let's say it's 300 people, right? This is a show that I've heard about for years. This is a show that I've heard about the auction, which really the auction exists to raise money to simply perpetuate the show. I can't tell you how many raffle tickets I've bought at this point, but I bought a colossal poop ton of raffle tickets because even if I only come once, I want this show to keep going and keep going and keep going because really the charity auction, the Saturday night charity auction goes to fuel everything going into the next year. And I can't think, you know, all these little regional shows that have then grown on to be bigger things. Adepticon was 10 guys who met around 2 tables. And now Adepticon is the 800-pound gorilla of miniature shows in North America. All these sort of regional shows have grown that way. And again, it exists because of generosity, right? We don't all need more T-shirts. We don't all need more badge holders, but we still are more than willing to put the money up and pony up and so on. So I think if you're going to be an auctioneer, you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in the message and the group that you're trying to support, but you also have to invest yourself. And so, all right, you know, next Gen Con charity auction, I'm going to have my Holmes box set. And I can promise you it's not in the shrink. And I can promise you it isn't a C9.5 graded copy of the Holmes box set.
On the Meinhardt scale, yes.
On the Meinhardt scale. Because if I may quote from the book of Meinhardt, the book of Meinhardt says very clearly that shrink is not a condition.
No.
So all of these
something
things.
that we say every year at this auction.
That's right, you have to.
It's thrown out every year.
So let's have a chorus from the book of Meinhardt.
I wish I taped it. Steve Hansen, which unfortunately passed away a couple years ago from the cancer company, had an epic rant about adventures. And shrink wrap, new, mint. And he just mentioned something. I mentioned why this mint, whatever I wanted. And he just dropped everything you did and just ranted for 20 minutes straight.
I can rant.
That was an affront to God and nature because, damn it, adventures are made to be open. They should be scribbled in. They should be highlighted. They should be used, abused.
Here would be my corollary to that. Is that I agree with that to a point, but I had this argument with people a lot of time because I've been buying and selling, trading RPGs online since 1992, and yes, online back in AOL, days when they had AOL forums. There was a time when people detested resellers.
Yes,
you are the scum of the universe. These are games to be played.
Crazy Igor.
What are you playing? What are you doing reselling a B1? You should just be giving that to someone. Why don't you just give your job away? But the point was that it was just something that people just thought that was just something you just didn't do, was to actually sell games. And now we've come around to the point where the people that buy, I don't mind people buy games, because when you have people in the hobby like a Meinhardt, and there's a lot of people like him, what they're doing is they're preserving our hobby. And so that's why some stuff needs to stay in the shrink, because someday you might want to have something still in the shrink to show somebody 100 years from now, this is something in the shrink.
That Tomb of Horrors I bought last year, my whole plan is to get the Tomb of Horrors for every edition including the Hackmaster, because I consider that a spiritual successor,
Uh-huh.
and frame them all together.
So I think let's talk about Bill for a second. I'm a friend of Bill Meinhardt, and I think that one of the things that Bill Meinhardt recognized earlier than almost anybody else that we can think of is that there is a ton of ephemera and a ton of things that are related to both the foundational roots of the hobby,
Right.
the development of the hobby, shenanigans at TSR with Lorraine, and all the rest of it that frankly was just being lost. You know, John Peterson's book, John Peterson's article about, you know, the ambush
Sheridan Springs, yeah.
at Sheridan
Great
Springs,
article, yeah.
right? All of this comes from some of the groundwork that Bill did in preserving letters that would have been thrown out, letters that would have been destroyed, letters that people didn't believe had value, documentation about all of this. And there are not very many people who figured this out as early as Bill did. And Bill immediately began working to really try to save that. The highest amount of money ever paid for a wood grain box set was paid by the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, for the brown box that sold 3 or 4 years ago. They recognized its importance both in the history of play and the history of gaming, and they really wanted a great copy, and that's what they got. Bill has made it his personal mission to try to have relevant wood grain box sets, right? It's not many people we know with a baker's dozen of wood grains, but he has Tim Casks. He has all these different people that were so important in the history of TSR, and he has their personal copies. But Bill had the foresight to capture some of this and preserve some of this, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I think we hear about
his
his
hobby gets a huge amount of credit, but you're right. Most people, because I know. So when I tell my wife about Bill's collection, and she also knows about Alex Kamer's collection, also has an absolutely amazing collection.
Yes.
Her first thought is, well, why don't they sell it? It's worth a lot of money.
Well, but
I'm like, well, but at
the same time,
She
right?
doesn't have the same attachment.
But no, there's no attachment at all.
Let me mention something really quick, right? There is a upper atmosphere of collectors, and there's a lot of folks that aren't being named, right? So we can easily talk about Bill, we can easily talk about Alex. They're two very recognizable faces, but I can easily think of another half dozen to a dozen more with collections as comparable as far as quality to Alex's or Bill's. Bill's is breadth. Bill has chosen to collect one of everything from 30 years, the first 30 years of fantasy role-playing games. And he's closer to it than anybody else that could ever try to start doing that now. There is no equivalent that I know of in regards to science fiction RPGs. I don't know of anybody that has used Metamorphosis Alpha as the starting point to then go for 30 years. We all know Gamma World. We all know Sky Realms of Jorun. We all know these easily pulled out of the back of our mind things, but there's nobody that matches Bill in science fiction. And I think that's a shame, right? I think that's a goal. I think that's a thing to discuss. But if we're going to talk about in the shrink, you know, we joke about shrink is not a condition, but it's not. I've seen things in shrink that are absolutely warped, beat up, that sell on eBay for ridiculous prices because it's in the shrink.
Right.
But I wouldn't even pay to open these, right? Just because you used it as something under your car when you did an oil change does not mean I'm going to pay you $150 for it. But a fool and their money are soon parted. So you keep going, folks. I don't know. So.
Well, I hope you enjoy the auction.
Oh,
Saturday.
I'm sure I will.
Alex and I are going to do it.
I'm in a front row
oh,
seat.
Dear God.
So
yeah, I thought about just letting you do it. And I just
no, not my rodeo.
So Alex, I was talking to Alex because every year
You got a front row seat?
every year I formally ask Alex to help me with the auction. Of course, every year he says yes because the man has a huge ego. Alex Cameron. Nice guy, but no. And so I was talking about, we were just joking about auction stuff, and he goes, I like the way you auction. I'm like, really? He goes, your auction is not like anybody else's auction, and it's not. And I purposely, because I don't want
Doesn't
to
have to
do
be.
the same auction everybody else does. So during our auction, we'll talk to people in the audience.
Yep.
Like if I were to do some auction with Bill, I'll ask Bill to talk about it. Talk about this item here.
Yes, done.
Just I do stuff like that, or we'll just stop down. We'll stop down. We'll say, okay, here's the history of this item. This is what this item does, or how this came about, or whatever. And it's just a very laid back style. Because I've loved auctions since I was a little kid, and I'm the type. I mean, I went to auctions when I was a kid, like and I just thought that was amazing, the most amazing skill ever. But that's not what I want to do, and that's not what I'm good at.
No.
And so there was somebody had told me, and I don't remember who it was, that said, do what you're good. Do the auction the way you want to do it. Because
That's right.
because I had talked to somebody, and a famous person in our industry once told me that I was the worst auctioneer he'd ever seen. And so I was kind of down. And so I talked to somebody else, and they said,
Here, I'll put it in stereo for you.
yeah, well, they said, they said, you do, it's because that person does an auction a certain way. You don't do it like that. You do it the way you want to do it. And they were absolutely correct.
I think
and
the biggest mistake you can make. Everybody has a different style,
Right.
Matt Tietz and I usually are the ones that do the auctions now at Gen Con for collectibles, and really and truly, Matt's style and mine are wildly different.
Right.
I will absolutely take you up to the thread of mildly inappropriate, trying not to cross over, but the jokes evolve, right? So what's in the box? I can now get a crowd at Gen Con. What's in the box? What's in the box? Because we get the mystery box at Gen Con.
Right.
And it's never about style, it's about comfort.
Sure.
And more than anything else, as long as the audience is on board and they're bidding and they're having a good time, the rest is it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the person they're putting, it's what did you? Yeah, are you selling the item? So are you when you have an auction and you have an item? A lot of times you have consignment items. But you owe it not just to the auction to make the most money. You owe that money. You owe that for the person who put the item for the consignment to make the most money for them too.
Yes.
And I have run into people that I have become infuriated with when they do an auction because they go really quick. They're trying to get through the auction. When I went to a Gen Con auction 2007, 2008, I put a bunch of stuff up there, and actually it worked out because it ended up paying for my trip to Gen Con that year. But so I would go drop in at various times to see my stuff auction. Most of the auctioneers did a great job, but sometimes they'd be in a hurry. It would infuriate me because I'm sitting there going, "That's the money I'm using to pay for Gen Con, and you're going through the auction just so you can get to the next item."
And if auctioneers forget, because we'll be in a time crunch at Gen Con, particularly because we'll have this massive intake of items that we're trying to churn our way through. And even if you are only going to give that item 30 to 45 seconds, you still owe it to whoever put it in to command the most money you possibly can. And
And it goes beyond that too. I think you guys nailed the point. But it also goes to item integrity, right? A beat up copy of Gettysburg is as important to describe as a beautiful fourth print white, OCE white box, because it's not only the person selling it, but the guys out there bidding on it. They want to know, because I buy a lot of stuff at the auction, which you all know, and I want to know what I'm buying.
That's right.
I don't want
you want me to open the box.
I want to know what I'm buying.
While somebody else is auctioning at the other podium,
Yes.
I'm looking at the next item.
Exactly.
I'm looking to see if it's complete. I'm looking to see if the description matches the contents of the box. Sometimes I get somebody who's like, the minimum bid is $500. Okay, I can try to start this at 100, maybe 250.
Right.
But really and truly, the poorly painted Tester's enamel orcs are probably not going to command.
Yeah, you're killing me, Smalls. Come on, man. Yeah, you're killing me.
Right. But what we have to do is, and Bill and I work very well when we're going through RPG items. As items are coming in, we're always looking for. Did you see that Jim Ward sold an RPGA miniature case?
Yes.
Okay. So at the last Gen Con, somebody put 2 of those in the regular miniatures section, not knowing that A, we had never seen them at the Gen Con auction before. B, they were impossible to find. But we spotted them, pulled them for collectibles, sold them in collectibles. They each brought in over $400. And the guy, when he comes to just find out if his miniature box is sold at the end of the day, almost fainted.
You should check.
And he said, I'll donate I'll donate all the money I made from one to the charity auction, and I'll just take the payout on the second one.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that auctioneers should do,
Right.
because if we hadn't, and it had just been buried in the miniature section, it would have been over.
We've all seen it.
Right.
You guys done a good job of posting it.
It's
Yeah,
shrink.
We already talked about him.
Yeah, but we got to do it again. Shrink is not a condition. Mr. Meinhardt, come wave.
Of course, when Alex comes, I will disavow I said that.
It's obviously not a condition.
Everybody, that's Bill Meinhardt.
Mr. Bill, yes.
He broke the Kessel speed run in getting here today.
Oh, dear.
So, I don't
13
know.
hours.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
12:15 last time I was in Chicago.
Well, that's not bad,
I was
though.
going to say that's gotta be.
That's post-COVID roads. COVID roads aren't as bad as they were. You can go faster now.
you can invite me for one item. If you find a really
I'll find something.
no,
yeah, I'd love to
no,
find-
no, but I'm not here to horn in on.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
No,
no.
I'm not.
I would love Jim. I want Jim to do it.
Oh, hello! Oh my God, you put it in a Pepsi bottle?
Well, I bought the bottle while I was traveling and didn't want to pay for bring that big ass bottle on the plane.
Over the
My
lips,
luggage.
straight to my dainty hips.
Anybody else want some?
Cheers.
I already have something. Right.
This is a professional podcast, Bill. This is how we do it.
I sense that.
Woo!
You know, I was wondering if the podcast was done.
No, it's still rolling, but we're going to end it up here. If I can get my partner,
live? I can't tell
who,
if
by
we're
the way, my
live.
partner just abandoned it. I don't even know how to shut it off. I don't know what to do.
Are we live?
Oh yeah, we're live.
Oh, crap.
So, podcast.
Oh, we have 9 people watching, bro.
Oh,
What I do? Nothing. I just don't know how to shut it off.
I'm Jim.
Mike,
Eric.
That's Mike. I'm Jim.
podcast question for you. You guys can
Yes.
talk about it. What's the coolest role-playing thing that you own? I mean, you talk about
That I
the
own?
role-playing thing that you own.
It's the Conquistador issue. They had the Gary Gygax story in it.
Oh, okay.
Because that was so cool, I didn't know it was worth anything until somebody pointed out that, hey, that's got an unprinted, unpublished Gygax story in it that nobody knows about. I'm like,
Yeah, so you
All
gotta
right.
put your screen though. You gotta.
So, all right. So I'll talk
And
about.
on that note, I'll be right back.
So I'll talk about what we found at Gen Con one year. So we found it at the last Gen Con. So a guy submits to go in the collectible auction a box of miscellaneous Judges Guild rarities. So it's some maps and some other things.
I'm getting excited just hearing about this.
Okay,
Get a little hot.
So
Touch skill, nice.
So I have 2 of the Lizardman belt buckle. I have Dave Trampierre's Dice Tower. I have a bunch of great stuff. But the thing that when I first got my Dragon subscription, when you got a Dragon subscription, you started getting TSR, mail order hobby shop catalog pages.
Sure.
Right? So we have a guy who submits a box, what's in the box, that shows up in the auction of this Judges Guild stuff, and he wants to put it in rarities, which makes perfect sense. And then I start to look at the box. And the box is from the Dungeon Hobby Shop. It is the earliest piece of ephemera that we have from the Dungeon Hobby Shop. It's
Wow.
from like 74 or 75. I can take a picture for you. But not only is it dated with the return address, because he was sending it to Canada, Ernie filled out a customs label that lists every single
my
thing in the
gosh.
box
Uh-huh.
and has his signature, and it's dated.
Crazy.
And so it is not an unpublished Gary Gygax thing. It is not, an ultra rare first printing of the DM's Guide or anything like that. But it is solely unique in the history of our hobby. There is no one that I know that has an earlier.
Why would somebody save that? Yeah, they all got thrown away. That's the ephemera.
Nobody that I know, and I've talked to other people, have anything from that early at the Dungeon Hobby Shop. And the fact that it's signed by Ernie, when you look at the list of what was in the box, it's just solid gold. Here's a guy in Ontario that decides that he wants to buy this stuff, and he sends in a want list and a U.S. postal order, and he gets a copy of Eldritch Wizardry and all this other stuff. And my goal, my sort of long-term goal, is to fill the box with what the guy ordered.
That would be cool.
Right. that what I want to do is I want to fill it with all the, first printing, correct printing, all of that stuff, and then have that, because I don't own any of the tournament modules. I don't own a Tomoa-Con. I don't, that time has probably passed me by. I'm much more original artwork than I am a lot of this other stuff, but this is at least a doable project. This is at least something that when I'm done, it may not be the most valuable, but gosh, it's just going to be cool. So there you go.
I'm surprised the battery lasted this long.
Oh, well. Oh, well, I guess we better wrap this up. It's something.
More like drinking booze. Thank you, Bafrin.
Did you not auction off that mail order at the auction?
We did auction it off.
I remember that.
It did auction out, and then it ended up in my hands.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, yeah, it ended up without all the Judges Guild maps, but that's okay.
Was that the last Gen Con before?
Yes, before COVID. Yep. Yeah.
That was my first trip with just my guy friends and without my dad.
More me, less you.
Oh, Smackdown.
Smack Devereux.
That is harsh.
You didn't even invite me on the show.
What? You came on the show? You dominated the show.
We don't.
Cool. I like you.
We don't have.
like him.
We don't have a wide angle
Dominated
camera
the
to
show.
catch the flow. That's the problem.
The hair.
All right, well, I'm going to tag out.
All right, I'll
I
tap
just saw like
out
5
too.
people I knew. Jim,
Thank you.
we're going to have you auction an item at the auction.
No,
That's okay?
you don't have to. It's okay.
No, I want to.
Oh, Mike.
I'm just. Oh, are we going to call it?
Yeah, look at the battery life. Holy crap! All right, so we got a bunch of messages that I'm gonna clear out real quick. All right, and then thank you.
We love you. We love you here.
Gary's name is mentioned and everyone goes silent.
That was way.
That's way back.
That was 2 hours ago.
I read all,
Close to.
Greg. I read all of Fatal.
That was like an hour and a half ago.
It was a harrowing experience. Yeah.
That was about an hour ago. Yeah. We picked
Greg,
it up.
Greg Gillespie.
That was the most recent one, I think.
Which I was there.
Poor Greg.
Hope you have better luck next year, Greg. From David Betsack.
Yeah, it
More like
sucks.
drinking booze. Yes, some of us nuts are still watching.
I only have like one more of those, so don't think you're just.
Sometimes
Oh, come
it's
on,
about
man.
the story
Come on,
versus the
man.
value. All right, so folks,
We're going to call it.
and we're still knocking like 10 people. Awesome.
Yeah, they just kind of play in the background while they do other stuff.
Yeah, I got
every show was like that. Eric and I can just wander off.
Oh yeah, it's like, hey, why don't you meet
Love
some
it.
people?
I love it.
So, folks, we're going to be doing more live streams from the con. One of them is going to basically be sponsored by Chris Gill, who brought the booze for it.
Yes.
So we'll try to wrangle up proper people for the booze testing, which should be a lot of fun. And I'm.
Me and eight people.
Jason Braun said he
we
would
might
do
have
one.
one right over here.
Jason
Look
Braun
at this.
said he's in.
I would like you to invite him.
Because I think that he would like
It's
what you
not
brought.
up to me to invite because it's your event.
No, dude.
Jason Braun's in.
Well, we haven't
He already
decided
said
when
he's
we're
in.
doing it, but it's going to be one of the evenings.
Yeah, probably Friday
Friday sounds good. If you're free Friday night.
or not.
All right.
I think I have a game at 7, so I have to be before that.
Well, we'll figure it out.
A game at 7, or we could do it
We
late.
do it tomorrow.
We could
Thursday's
do it.
fine too. I don't
Game at
care.
7. We could do it at 11.
Not Saturday. We got things going on Saturday.
I mean, we could do it. We could.
Anyway,
But in any case,
Satan's dancing Saturday.
we'll figure it out, folks. Oh, someone's taking a picture. God help him.
No.
Oh,
I can't.
No, he's not.
I got my glasses on.
all right, folks. As always, when I mention the word COVID, you wouldn't know that by looking at us, but everybody here has been immunized. We're not saying get immunized. We're not medical professionals. However, I will say use your common sense. You got to use your common sense to keep yourself healthy. Because you're not healthy, you can't help others. And trust your family, your friends, your loved ones. Be safe, be well. God bless for all those dice. If you're at North
Thank
Texas
you, everybody.
RPG Con, come
Yes,
by,
we'll
say
be-
hi to Mike, say hi to
Yes,
me,
please.
say hi to anybody who's you've seen pictured wandering behind us. Again, thank you so much. And yes, the battery's down to like 5%. Holy crap.
Wow.
All right, folks.
That's a heroic
Yeah.
battery. Yeah.